Hey there guys, how's it going? Let's just jump over and show you what we've got planned for this evening. Well, that's a bit of an overstatement actually. There is no real plan for this evening. How's it going there, Duck? How's it going, Brody? Made one on time, good to hear that, buddy. Yeah, it's really nice to have you. Sick note, lovely clear night for a change. Oh, you're imaging too? Very nice, mate. Are you on any particular target tonight? Ben McLaren, doing good. Glad to hear it, mate. Stan, good to have you in another stream, buddy. We all live through you with clear skies. Well, on that note, Stan, this could be the last clear sky I'll see in maybe 10 days or so, according to the weather forecast. It seems like it's going to go a little bit crappy shortly, mate. I thought I'd make the most of it and do a final stream with you guys before it all goes, you know, it all goes south. Duck, your cloud's randomly left too, so you're imaging as well. Very nice, mate. William, good to see you. Space Stuff, good to see you too, buddy. Not sure what to do yet. It's definitely something in Cygnus, says Duck. Yeah, me too, mate, to be honest. I would like, ideally, as you can see, I've just set things off guiding. After last stream, where we had some real issues with guiding due to wind and things like that, I've decided to do a little bit more of a deliberate imbalance towards the counterweights in order to try and make it a little bit easier for me. At least that's the plan anyway. Sebastian, hey there, mate. Good to see you. Ian Smith, hey, how's it going, Ian? Are you imaging anything tonight? I mean, you say you're just starting your session. What are we going after, mate? Brian the Primate, good to see you as well, buddy. Very nice to have you back in the chat. Sorab, is that how I pronounce your name? Sorab? Greetings from Japan. It's 7:20 AM already here. Wow, an early start then, mate. William's just getting ready to set up. Fantastic. And you're on the Sunflower Galaxy. Very nice. Sick note. Good to have you again, Danny. Really nice of you to pop by, buddy. So yeah, I think the plan. Just 1 second, I need to pause and cough. Crikey, got a tickly throat tonight. Yeah, I think the plan is to go after the target that I'd initially wanted to go for the last stream, but guiding issues stopped me. So looks to be a little bit more stable. It's still not guiding amazing tonight, as we do have a bit of wind, as you can maybe see. It's not looking too bad actually, looking at the trees on the skycam right now. Yeah, I think we can make do with this. So yeah, that's the plan. Gather this data, then I've got something for a future video and I can share this data with you guys, basically. So I'll just get things set up in a moment. I think that was my last saved plan. Mashed potato, good to see you, buddy. Lucas Clayskies again, lucky man. I've been really lucky, mate, just lately. This last week has been a serious surprise, actually. I think we're all good there. As you can see, we're not quite yet entering, well, we don't get astronomical darkness this time of year, of course, but astronomical twilight is going to start at 11:54. But I think if we make it a little bit of an early start, it won't matter too much. I can always just cull those early subs and it'll give me enough time to get set up with other stuff. Mark Zaboyd, evening, mate. Really good to see you. Brody got to image last night. You've been working on a Crescent Nebula project since the end of April. 8 hours, 45 minutes a day so far. Very nice. Oh, so you're going after Abel 39, Ian. Awesome. KU Astro, greetings from Bulgaria. Was about to pack it in for tonight due to clouds. Ooh. Any chance of them clearing up for you, mate? Sam, good to have you back. Watching your stream the other night made me want a new mount. Ooh. Looking at the HEQ5. Oh, they're very nice mount indeed, those, mate. Nothing really bad to say about them. I'd say if it fits your budget, go for it. Ben dug out his old Ioptron Cube EQ last night and ran some sub stuff on Blue Orsed. Ooh. Crazy tough target for me for some reason. Always washed out. Could be light pollution, I suppose, Ben. I don't know your conditions where you live, buddy, but I think it's quite a hard target if I'm thinking of the right thing. Just got your first Astro cam, says Sorab. 533 MC Pro. Very nice, mate. Your pronunciation was on point. Ooh. Glad to hear it, mate. I hate butchering people's names. Hey there, Rob. Seven Skies Astro. Hope you're doing well. I am doing alright, mate. Thank you. I hope you're doing good too. Doing a late one yourself. 2 rigs out. 2 rigs going. Very good. Going to clear all night. Bring it on. Very, very nice, mate. I've just fought on, actually. I do have the other rig up and running. I just need to hit go on the plan. I'll just be 1 sec. Nice. Well, I'll just keep one eye on that at the same time, but gathering some more data for Chloe as well, using the ASCII 120 rig. At the same time, she's been putting some real effort into capturing a nice close-up shot of the elephant's trunk itself, so that should turn out quite nice. Let's see. Space stuff. Rich from Astor, Florida. Very nice. Starting a new project tonight. M16, the Eagle Nebula. Ooh, I love that target, mate. Best of luck to you. Mark of many talents. Good to have you, buddy. Nothing like a good mount. I'd rather have a good mount than a good scope. Me too, to be honest, Brian. You can always work with a good mount, can't you, mate? Mike Louiselle. Hey, Luke. From Northern Michigan. Love EAA. Very good to hear that, Mike. Tonight's plan, if it starts to go well, is just going to be really gathering some subs on the North American Nebula region, the Pelican Nebula, that kind of whole associated region, as I want to use it for a future tutorial video and a data share, that kind of thing. And I got stopped last session due to really bad guiding, I think due to wind. But we'll see how this one goes, mate. If this starts going really crappy as well, then it looks like another EAA session, because if there's one thing I don't want to do, it's waste a clear night, you know what I mean? Peter Raymond, good luck with the weather. Giving up for now due to lack of darkness. Don't blame you, mate. You're not giving up. I'll be posting up on my YouTube your year of astro imaging. Very nice, Peter. Make sure to pop me a link to that if you can at some point. I'd love to catch that. Titch, how's it going, buddy? Just having a shot at the Crescent Nebula from Nikki's. Very nice. Very, very nice. Simias, you have a second 80mm coming in tomorrow, so you can start putting together a tandem imaging train. Very cool. Now you just have to figure out the camera. Ooh, what's your options for cameras on that then, mate? The Tarbug man. You have to move south. In Sweden, the skies are too bright from mid-April to mid-August. Yeah, it's bright here too, mate. It's not going to be nearly as bad as it is for you in Sweden, but yeah, I think you'd have to go quite a ways south to really avoid this issue. Jay asks, did you catch Starship Flight 4? I actually didn't. I'm really disappointed that I missed it. And you're shooting the Wizard Nebula and the Flying Bat tonight. Sick. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Appreciate it, space stuff. Absolutely, Peter. Yeah, I love seeing stuff like that. 294 is your current, and you're really thinking about the 294 MC. Ooh. So a pair of 294s, eh? That should work really well. Acid hi from Sweden. Hello there, mate. Really, really nice to have you in the chat. Suffering from a bit of a scratchy throat today. Dew Control. Tim, if I recall correctly, is that right? Good to have you in another stream, buddy. Was Starship Flight 4 the one where the fin fell off? I have not got any footage from it yet. Gorillakos. Nice one, buddy. Really cool to see you in another stream as well. It seems like we've got a lot of regulars popping in now. It's very nice. And it is Tim. Got you. I'll try my best to remember, but I'm not the best with names. I'll be honest, Tim. Active Shape. Hi from Dublin. Clear skies. Clear skies to you as well. Good sir. Ooh, first sub is in. So apart from the expected vignette, which clears up really nice with flats, it looks okay. I'll just zoom in a touch. We're seeing all the classic indicators of nice crisp focus on this one. For this particular region, I always like to look at this pair of stars right here on the Cygnus wall. If they're well split, you know, you're looking good. Your optics are nice and sharp, the sky isn't too bad, and you're in focus. So, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed that it holds. Shortly, I think we'll set up a live stack on this as well. Using SharpCap at the same time, using folder monitor live stacking. Diaz Martin. Hi from Madrid, Spain. Lots of clouds here. I think we've had a weather swap, mate. It's been really warm here and cloud free. Daniel Loads, good to see you, mate. Hi from the south of France, says Sebastian. Endless cloudy nights here since February. Ooh, I hope it clears up for you soon, Sebastian. And thank you very much indeed, mate. Yeah, I'm happy to be making the most of it and sharing a good night imaging with you guys. Always a pleasure. Asic Astro, waiting for some clear skies to try out your new C925 Hyperstar. Doesn't look good right now. I suppose the good thing is, mate, the stars will be there eventually when it does clear back up for you. He-Man, aloha from Florida. Aloha to you too, mate. Very good to have you in another stream. Greetings from Pennsylvania, says Broken. Cloud capital of the East Coast, I think. Oh, crikey. Sounds like you guys have been having it real bad while I've had a kind of a really lucky week, I guess. Alright, the second sub is in. Are things holding? The Guardian looks a little bit wobbly, but we'll take what we can get at this point in time. Still looks good. Yeah, I'll try and set up that live stack if we can. Should be more interesting to look at that. David O'Flanagan. Evening from the east of England. Stunning sky tonight. It is, mate, isn't it? It's a nice, very blue sky, actually, when I came out to the observatory. That kind of cool evening blue. Lovely. Titch. Oh no, he got musked. Multi-musked or just a single musking. License has expired. It definitely hasn't. I just recently bought a fresh license for this. Folder monitor camera. Let me just crack open my my emails and stuff, I guess. See if I can't fix this. Probably have to do that in a moment. I'll have a look through just off the side of the stream, but yeah. Hi from Washington State, says War Thunder. Hello there, mate. Good to have you. I thought I would watch this stream while stacking some subs I got last night. Very nice. What were your subs on War Thunder? Listen to the stream while mowing the lawn. Multitasking at its best. Fantastic, mate. Marco, nice to catch the live stream again. Very nice to catch you in a stream again, Marco. Thank you for coming and spending some time with me, mate. Tom couldn't believe his eyes when he saw the cleared out sky this morning. You know, I don't have that app. I should really potentially get it. Oops. Just need to fire up my my emails. One sec, chaps. Sorry. Sorry about the messing around delay here. Just trying to find my SharpCap Pro license once again. See if I can get this thing input, and then I'll get the stream back on properly for you guys. LBN 468 A War Thunder near the Iris Nebula. Very nice. Why is the camera named after Pete? Asks Duck. It was it were intended as a bit of a joke one night. So Pete had been doing a bunch of donating actually to the stream, and I said, "Man, I wish there was some way I could pay you back for some of this support, mate." Someone suggested, "Why don't you name the camera after Pete?" So yeah, I did, and it ended up kind of sticking, I think. All right, seems like the licensing issue is fixed. So John, right there with you. Got subs from last night too on the Wizard Nebula, very nice. Just waiting for your player 1533 to cool down, and finally first light with the 200 Quattro. Ooh, that should be a good one, mate. I need to browse now and find these subs. Oops, Nina and Tonight. There we are. So we've got 4 to work with now. We should have a flat that I took not too long back. If I can find the darn thing. Will it have saved this as a master? I don't know. Does anybody know where it saves flat masters in SharpCap? I'm a little bit stuck on this one. It deserves it, lol. Yeah. Finally get to see a live stream live. Yeah, that's that's really nice to have you here, Redbeard Joe. Well deserved for Pete. Yes, indeed. Pete's support's been absolutely magic on this channel. Just need to see why the other rig is annoyed. Oh, I think I see why. A little bit of thin cloud coming through. Oh dear. Apologies about the PhD noises if it's giving anybody flashbacks or anything like that. I'll try to turn those down a little bit so they're a bit less intrusive on the stream. Hopefully there ain't too much cloud. But crikey, look how they're illuminated from all the street lamps and stuff. If this one decides to donate hundreds again, we could name it after him. Like a rolling tally of top donator gets the camera named after him. Crikey. Hey there, Gil. Good to see you, mate. That ding sound from PhD, yeah, it's never a good sound, is it? Saves the flats where you were saving the lights to... Okay, space stuff. So I managed to find the flats themselves. But for some reason, couldn't locate the master. Bit of an odd one. Could it be... here we go. I see what you mean now, mate. Thank you very much indeed for that. A bit of advice there, bud. That's really cool. So we'll reset live stack, and if we check out what this first sub actually looks like in a sec, we can maybe adjust this and use some filtering. So we can just leave Nina running and we won't stack up the, as you can see, the gradually lower contrast subs such as this one right here. With any luck, these clouds will bugger off for us and keep clear in a while. It did suggest on the Met Office that we might have a little bit of this kind of action for a short while. It's supposed to clear back up. Let me see. Going to switch to mono, says the Tabugman. Tabugman? Sorry if I'm getting your name wrong, mate. What filters would you say give the best bang for the buck? You're in bottle 5 to 6. You need something fairly narrow. Let's say about 4 nanometers. Or could I go wider? Well, I've had great results in the past from bottle 7. We've right up to 7 nanometer narrowband filters, but you do see a difference for sure between, 7 nanometers and 3 nanometers. For example, it's a tough one to advise you on right now because I've not really been deep into the mono game for a while. I do have a few mono setups, and the filters that I use right now are Astronomic 6 nanometer. And they're very good indeed, but they're probably a few years old now, so I imagine you can do better than those. Sorry, I can't really offer you much more quality advice on that, but I'm sure someone in chat probably helped too on that one. Ian Martin, good evening. Nice to see another one of your live streams. Hey, it's nice to have you. Thanks very much for joining in, Ian. You're on the Butterfly Nebula again tonight, but with an Evo Lux 82, going for a wider view, but struggling with guiding. There's always something in the mate. Let's see if we can pick up this live stack, if it will open. Oof, that looks a little bit intense. So I'm seeing some small degree of overcorrection, it looked like, from the flat. That's fine. Not going to worry too much about that. It could have just been the state of the stretch that the screen came on with. I'll go ahead. Doesn't look too bad now, does it? There's still some indication, but for just a live stack, we're all okay. I'll take some fresh flats for this session at the end. But here we are. Give this a touch of a stretch. That is 1 2-minute sub that we're now looking at. And hopefully, once I hit play, it should start to build this up, and we'll see what we can see. Matt Draxler. Hey there, Matt. Good timing and needed a good live stream to chill and relax with. Well, thank you very much indeed, Matt, for coming and spending some time. That goes for all of you guys, of course. I really appreciate having you here and spending some of your evening with me. Or day, or whatever it happens to be. I know that someone's mowing right now. I hope that's going well for you, mate. Got the 2600 MC Pro now, and have your eyes on the 2600 MM Pro. I see, mate. So you're going to need 36mm filters, I think, at a minimum, which does hike the price up a little bit, of course. Rocket City Astro, hello there, mate. Have you seen any noctilucent clouds yet? I've been looking every morning that I've been up and about, mate, and I haven't seen any so far this year. No luck. What's tonight's target, asks Redbeard Joe. So it's the NGC 7000 region, along with the Pelican Nebula, and all this associated nebulosity. I don't actually know its NGC designation, if indeed it has one. But that's what we're going after, mate. I think we will let this filter, and we'll set it slightly more aggressively than that. Oh, sharp gap's running so laggy, unfortunately, guys. It's always like this once it's doing some stacking of full frame sensors, you know what I mean? What filter do you prefer for the Hyperstar? The Optilong L Extreme F2 or the regular... Oh, lost that connection for a moment. It should reconnect in a sec. Or the regular Extreme or the Ultimate. So you can't use really the regular L Extreme or the L Ultimate, as neither of those are going to work really well at all with F2. You'll suffer too much bandpass shift. Another connection was made to the remote computer. What is going on? Yeah, so you will really need to look at a specific narrowband filter for fast scopes, basically, mate. Hey, well, this is my desktop background. Just while we try and get reconnected up. Use the force, Luke. Greetings from Mexico City. Hey there, Enrique. How's it going, buddy? Nice to have you in another stream. Other user. Really not happy tonight, ain't my mini PC? But we're back on. That's all that counts. Jeez. Not going to worry too much about it, eh? Let's see now. Try and catch up a little bit with chat. I'm just a touch behind, guys. Sorry about that. Just going to Mono, says Rocket City Astro, and his SV Boney 7mm filters are working good. That's good to hear, mate. I would imagine they're more affordable than you know, some of the more famous offerings, shall we say. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, though. In the UK, 3nm will let you image through most of the summer, weather permitting. Aye, that's true enough, Ian. It does cut through a lot of that, you know, problem we have here, where it's never truly dark at this time of the year. I'd still be a little bit sketchy with oxygen. Even at 3nm, it seems to let in, you know, moonlight and such, but it is what it is. Just did this target last night in an HOO pellet. Very nice, mate. Zaphos switched from 7nm to 3nm. Only downside I've noticed is that some planetary nebulas have N2, which is caught by 7nm HA, but not by 3nm HA. That's interesting. Did not know that, mate. So I guess the band passes of those two are so close on the spectrum that it's included by that slightly wider pass, eh? Interesting stuff. Gil says, yesterday cleared up, finally, shot the wall for 2.5 hours. Even when you stock DSLR, the reds are coming out very nicely. Brilliant. Yeah, I once tried this with a stock DSLR and it didn't go too well, mate. It looked terrible, but you know, I suppose DSLRs have moved on a fair bit since my first one. Riding mowers are the shizzle. I also got a little bit more thin cloud just passing through. Show you that on the on Pete's cam for a while. Let's see. Astro Dragon, CEO of Reach for the Stars. Ooh, we really appreciate your work on YouTube, bud. Hey, thank you. That's really kind of you to say, mate. You helped me learn astrophotography while running an astronomy non-profit here in Arizona. You rock, man. Oh, thank you, mate. No, you're the one who rocks, though. Doing outreach work like that, that's brilliant. Let's see. Silly question, says Brian the Primate. I'm saving up for a dedicated astro cam, but in the meantime, I'm thinking about modifying my DSLR. What's the best mod for it? Full spectrum or HA? Ooh. I've got a HA modded DSLR, and the thing I like about it is with the custom white balance, you can still use it for daytime stuff. That said, if you're only going to use it for astro, then probably cheaper, I guess, to just go full spectrum. Windows updates. Oh, I hope not, mate. Will you need more specialized filters? If you go full spectrum, you'll need just what you'll really naturally be using anyway. So something that will cut out some of the infrared and ultraviolet, basically to reduce the amount of bloat that you're going to see through most telescope optics, unless you're using something like a completely full reflector system, such as a Ritchie-Chrétien without corrective optics glass in there. In which case you could get away with complete full spectrum. Still love the IDAS NBZ filter on the RASA, although the Antlia tri-band RGB filter seems to work quite well. That's neat, Itch. Is the tri-band RGB a traditional, like tri-narrowband filter then? Or is it more, as the name suggests, to do with broadband light with the RGB? I haven't actually looked into it, to be honest. Sounds like it's time for an eagle, Luke. You need to give the Italy boys a call. Yeah, a Prima Luce lab. That would be pretty cool. Let's see. Been shooting SH2171 as Hide a Bug Idea the last 2 nights. Brilliant clear skies tonight from Leicester. I hope I've got your name correct there, by the way, as well, mate. Full spectrum doesn't add much more than just a simpler IR cut filter removal. Yep. Yeah. The full full spectrum mod can be cool if you want to do some daytime photography of things like trees and whatnot, where normally they appear green. They'll turn out like an odd white-ish colour. I don't know if that's something that interests you, Brian. Well, there it is. Crikey, can these clouds not just pack it in? At least there's some clear sky in between, eh? Siegfried, how's it going, mate? Good evening, Luke. Seems you're having several clear nights. Well, clear, it's all relative. But yeah, it's not been too bad. Just recently, Siegfried. We are set for it to go pretty crap here soon, unfortunately, though, mate. So I just thought I'd make the most of it on this last night and see if we can't get a little bit of data on this rather pretty target, you know what I mean? Let's just try and catch up with chat. Touch, I'm just a little bit behind, guys, sorry. Paul Severance, hey Luke, great Pixel Insight videos. Hey, thank you, mate. Any experience with the Asgard D1 and D2 filters for one-shot close? I don't, but my mate Queeve, the Lazy Geek, I'm sure he's done a video using those things, and he quite enjoyed them. But yeah, it's not really my kind of thing. I think when you're starting to use multiple filters like that, it's getting away from the thing about one-shot color that I like, which is that feeling of just adding time purely in its simplest way. Maybe that's just me, but it starts to feel a little bit more like a mono setup then, if you're having to switch between a couple of filters. Powdered out on this side of the Pennines, here in Stockport. Game over for a while, but enjoying the stream. Or Mark, I hope it clears up for you, mate. It's set to do this for a little bit of a while. Just a brief glance at the weather forecast. Then it should go clear again, with any luck anyway. Drew on Oxygen 3. I see what you mean, Ian, when we were talking about the band passes. That's why you're trying to get Oxygen 3 now, and then HA next month. Got you. Yeah, that makes sense, buddy. Nevada clear skies. I know it's a boring subject to image now, but have you taken some shots of T Coronae Borealis yet? So you have a before shot prior to its next nova. I haven't, and I don't actually know about that target, mate, to be honest. It's not something that's been on my radar to be true, so maybe that's something I need to fix. So thank you for the suggestion. Simon Thompson, how's it going, Simon? Just wondering why you're saving your files as Sir rather than Fitz. This is just, its output format is automatically set on this. I'm not actually using the camera through SharpCap, but good eye on noticing that all I'm doing right here is just using the folder monitor camera. So the actual capture for this session that we're viewing is all happening in Nina. If it would open, there we go. It's taken a while. Obviously, subs are looking really fogged out right now while the while this is happening. But yeah, as I say, with any luck, these will clear off shortly, and we can get back to the plan at hand. At least that's what I hope. We'll try and switch the view back to sharp cap, but it's been a little bit laggy, unfortunately, guys. Gil, you have an old Nikon D5300. Red cut filter seems not too aggressive on that one, and it has good quantum efficiency. Planning on modding it soon. Nice one, yeah. They've got a nice sensor, as far as I remember, those D5300s. I once bought a Nikon D7100. This is a fair while back, and that was terrible for Astro. It had such like notable fixed pattern noise. It just was unusable, effectively. I know that the 5300 though isn't actually a better sensor than that 7100 was. Stefan, good to have you here, Stefan. How's it going, mate? Almost clear skies again. Yep. Mainland Europe is a nightmare this month. Oh, crikey. Sorry to hear that, dude. Don, hey there, mate. I caught your comment the other day saying you were looking forward to the next one, so I am really glad you've managed to catch it. Thanks for coming and spending some time. Let's see. Shot with it at minus 15 degrees centigrade without any hiccups. Amazing little DSLR. That's good. Yeah, to have it so cold and it still not be giving you any grief. That's good. Titch says, regarding the tri-band RGB filter, I assume this is supposed to work well on 90% of emission targets and reflection nebula and also galaxies. So that's a pretty multi-use filter by the sounds of it, eh, mate? I may have to look into one of those. It sounds right up my street, to be honest. Will work for Astro gear. Smash the like button. Oh, crikey. Yes, please. If you're enjoying the streams, guys, do pop a like on them. Same goes for the videos. I know it sounds like a really cheesy YouTube-y thing to ask for, but the reason people mention it is because it does help. Yeah. Oddly enough, such a little thing. So thank you, by the way, to everybody who does that. It's very kind of you. Let's see. David O'Flanagan, you do love the Scout Guide Scope. Always looks overkill. Yes, mate. Astro Shed, how's it going, mate? And hey, Astro Shed, by the way, thank you for that mention on your video the other day. For anybody in the chat who's looking for another channel to watch, my mate Astro Shed, he's putting out quite a lot of content actually recently. He just covered one on some 3D printed offerings and things like that, and he included me in that video very kindly, as I do quite a lot of Astro 3D print related stuff. Yeah, so cheers for that, mate. Let's just get caught up a touch. Rob says, you're actually going old school tonight with your full mod Canon 550D on an ASCAR 300 FRA. Ooh, and the little Skywatcher GTI, that's awesome, mate. The Skywatcher GTI is doing really well, I reckon, to carry the FRA. They're fairly heavy little scopes, those, aren't they? You're using the ASCAR D1 and D2. Seems straightforward for processing, says Haida. That's good to hear, mate. Yeah. Like I say, I think for me, I'm a bit of a one-shot colour. I almost want to say like a purist, but that's the wrong term. I think I'm just lazy. That's probably why I don't like mono too much. But I do like that feeling with one-shot colour of just having a filter chosen for your target, just one, and going at it. Do you know what I mean? And then each and every single sub you capture is making that image better. I'm never trying to puzzle out, ooh, do I need more blue tonight or something like that if you're shooting, you know, LRGB, etc. I don't have anything against mono, but I think just for me, I tend to have more fun, just generally speaking, with one-shot colour stuff. Glad to hear it's working out for you though, mate. Star Walking, hello everyone. Hello to you too, mate. How's it going? Brian the Primate Astro just did a before shot of T Coronae Borealis. I'll update my Twitter feed with the latest AA VSO data to help people monitor it. Very cool. If it's cloudy when it finally goes over, I'll travel to see it. Hey, that's really, that's mint, mate. Is there a difference in quality with a 16-bit camera? Been using a 183mm and been thinking about upgrading to a 2600mm, asks Astro Caden. Yeah. I think mainly the differences you're going to see, though, there between that 183 and the 2600 is more down to the sensor itself rather than the amount of available bit depth in its ADC. You know what I mean? If you're using that 2600 with enough game to give you an equivalent bit depth to your 183, the images are still going to look better because it's just plainly a cleaner sensor. I've got a 183 still, by the way, so I'm not knocking it. They are great cameras. But yeah, technology moves on, of course. That's just the way of things. So yeah, if you're thinking about a 2600 and your filters will work, by the way, because I know with a 183 you can get away with 1.25s, but you can't with the 26, then, go for it. Hope that helps you, mate. He-Man. PC has been struggling with PixInsight processing 5,000 plus C-star subs. Been running for days. What kind of setup are you running for Astro processing, and is it as fast as you would like it? Ooh, well, fast is always better, but yes, my desktop PC is rather quick, so it does make day-to-day processing tasks as quick as it can feasibly be without upgrading to something like a Ryzen Threadripper. I'm currently using a Ryzen 9 5900X. Can't remember exactly how many cores that thing's got, but it's a ton, and they all run fast, and it helps. And then I've got a graphics card, which is pretty quick on top of that, so that helps the AI-powered tools, which can be accelerated by CUDA cores. So for that, I'm running an RTX 4070 Ti. But yeah, it is as fast as I would like it. But if the opportunity came for a cheap upgrade, I'd go for it. SMA Sky, how's it going, mate? Richard Judge, finally have a clear night tonight. Decided to go for the Cygnus wall. My neighbour's security light has other ideas, though. Oh no, Richard. Sorry to hear that, mate. Might be time for a word with the neighbour. You know what I mean? The Corona Borealis is a recurrent nova that blows up about every 80 years and usually dims a good bit in the months leading up to the outburst. Ooh, very interesting, mate. So it's set to go by the sounds of it, hey? No problem. Smash the like button on the phone and the TV. That's awesome, mate. Thank you. I'm sure you can use an Optilong L Extreme for HA and Oxygen 3 and then D2 for Oxygen 3 and S2. I'm sure you could, mate, yeah. I think at that point, though, like I say, for me, I'd just, because I've got the option, I'd just use mono. Do you know what I mean? But for those people who just have a one-shot color camera, I know everybody's not as lucky as I've been in this game. So if all you do have is a one-shot color camera, then it sounds like a good option. We can certainly still get that SHO looking effect from simple dual narrowband, hydrogen, oxygen only. As you may have seen on my channel, I've got a bunch of different tutorials on various ways to do that. Zaphus asks, what is the graph at the bottom of the screen? I haven't used SharpCap live stacking, so this graph in particular, this one, filter on brightness, subs that come in get assigned a little square. Whether they're above the line or below it determines whether they get stacked or not. Higher up to the top indicates, in this case, a brighter star in the image. So brighter stars, rather. Red indicates they've dimmed, so it could be either through passing cloud, like we've been observing on this camera, or it can also be as simple as guiding errors moving the stars around, so spreading the amount of light coming in and landing over more pixels, making each one of them a little bit less bright. It also has, in case you're interested, a filter on full width half max as well, which I currently don't even have set for this thing, but as you can see, you could set it, let's say, to exclude higher full width half max subs, so subs that have maybe had guiding errors or defocus or whatever. Let's say if I opened the door for a moment to let some heat out of this place, you'd notice these full width half maxes go right up for a while ever that door was open, and the heat disturbances caused the scene to go terrible. Hope that explains that for you, Zappos. Apparently the quad band is better, Luke. Another channel compared them both. Thank you for that, Titch. I will have to definitely check these things out. That sounds fun. Thank you, by the way, Astro Shed. Thanks again, mate. Just try and catch up a little bit with chat. I am afraid I'm still just a touch behind. Corinne, good to see you, Corinne. Thanks for sending me some clips, guys, to London tonight. You're welcome, mate, yeah. Imogen M101, 5-minute subs. Very nice. Denebion, live imaging with Lukey. Awesome time for me. What are the targets for tonight? So it's actually going to be just mainly on this tonight. I'm going to, sit here, do this, chat with you guys, as I need to capture some data for a upcoming processing video that I want to work on. But I can't do it without any data, so I thought I'd, kill two birds with one stone sort of thing. Sorry if it's a little bit of a boring watch, this one, guys, but I will place things around and we can appreciate different parts of the image if you have any interest in that. So I'll move up to the wall itself. Quite a lot of detail visible already, I have to say. This is just what we're looking at is 20 minutes right now. It's actually been stacked, and it looks good. So yeah, the wall region, we'll take a look at that for a short while I try and catch up with chat. What camera are you using for the view of the scope and sky, asks Starwalking. So a very special cam called Pete's Cam. But no, seriously, it's a Reolink CX410. It's just a security camera that needs to be hardwired into your router effectively, mate. Available for around about £80 here in Britain. Don't know what they're available stateside. But yeah, nice camera, I think. Does a good job. You can clearly see, stars and such. It's not as good as, like a dedicated solution such as an all-sky camera, that kind of thing. But for what I wanted, something that I can directly plug straight into a stream and just share with you guys what the sky looks like at this very moment. It works. You know what I mean? Works pretty well. Let's see. I think mono is good if you have the luxury of having many clear good nights. Can't imagine shooting with 3 filters, switching them up every sub, refocusing and dithering isn't very efficient. I mean, I definitely see what you're saying, mate. It can be made quite efficient, can mono, especially if you've got a truly apochromatic scope and you interleave your subs. I always found that was the best way to not be left short, effectively, as then if clouds roll in earlier than anticipated, you still have, all the RGB or all the SHO to make an image. Might not be as much as you wanted, but if you just shot, all reds for an hour, all greens for an hour, and then it clouds out before you get your blues for an hour, then you're stuffed, aren't you? But if you don't have a truly apochromatic scope, then you're needing to refocus in between filters again and again and stuff like that, and it can be, yeah, a pain in the backside, I would say. I am a fan of mono, but I like one-shot color more, you know what I mean? The differences between them these days, they're really not as much as, people are going to tell you they are. Certainly not. I know some people suggest mono's 4 times more sensitive on a per pixel basis. It might be, but we don't image on a per pixel basis. You know what I mean? We're trying to gather light. So it ends up being probably 25% more efficient, I would say. Let's see. I know that might ruffle some feathers, but I have done my own homework on this and plenty of testing. Astrophotography the right way. How's it going, Paul? Clouds, for God's sake. Yeah, it's a never-ending one, isn't it, mate? Looks like they've cleared off a little. Oh, no. Just as soon as I say that, start to creep in the top of frame. Once again. I've cursed it. 12 cores, 24 threads, says Slad Zilslav. Thank you, mate. I assume that's my 5900X. I just forgot, basically. Spent a fortune in a full mono setup. Still ended up back with my one-shot color camera on the rig. Oh no. Yeah, I've done that a few times, buddy. Love my 2600 MC Pro, says Space Stuff. Best camera that I've ever used for DSO stuff. Oh, crikey. Seems like remote desktop's not very happy tonight. Where were I reading now? Yeah, for your solar rig, you use an ASI 432 and it gives you an outstanding image and videos at high frame rates. Brilliant. Peter Baldwin. Hi, Luke from Cardiff. What on earth is going on here now, guys? Look at the state of that. Oh, crikey. Let's see if a quick reboot of that is what's needed. There's always something. This is live streaming for you, you know what I mean? I don't know. Come on. You can do it. Unbelievable. Yeah, how's it going there, Peter from Cardiff? Do you have any clear skies tonight, mate? John Davies, clear down here in London. Very nice, John. Glad to hear that, mate. Imaging NGC 6960 in SHO. Cool. Got a good NGC 7000 a few weeks back. Super. Just seen the Starlink train, says Paul. Astrophotography the right way. Brilliant. Let's see. Dark Pixels. How's it going, buddy? Sean OD. Good to have you in another stream, mate. Thanks very much indeed for dropping by. Casey, Lone Monk. Hey, how's it going, Casey? Hope you're doing much better now, mate. Doing my best to get caught up with the chat, guys. I am playing catch up, but I don't really want to miss messages from people, if at all possible, you know what I mean? Be finished with the image by daylight. Yes, mate. It's pretty quick, is this RASA. What we're looking at on the screen right now, by the way, is just a segment of the image, and 22 minutes of integration has actually been stacked. The rest's just been rejected, unfortunately. Nevada Desert Skies asks, so are you using capturing with Nina and using the folder watch feature in SharpCap to live stack? Exactly. That's precisely what I'm doing, mate. Yeah, and I'm also having SharpCap apply background subtraction and also a flat that I took, I don't know, about 7 days ago or so now, something like that. Let's see. Richard Judge. How is your field of view so wide? I'm only using a 72 ED and a 533 and you have a much wider image. Sorry if you've already explained. No problem at all, Richard. So what it's down to is the relatively short, or I'd say middling focal length of my RASA 11 at 620 mils, paired up with a very large sensor camera. It's a full frame camera, so a huge amount of sensor real estate. And a large imaging circle gets you this wide field of view. Space stuff. Talking to Korean, sorry. Wisecam V3 works really well as well. Wireless and cheap. Good to hear that, mate. That certainly sounds like a nice option. The reason I went for the Reolink CX410 was its claimed color night vision, which admittedly I was a little bit skeptical of, but it seems I needn't have been because it can see in colour in the dark. It does a pretty good job. Quite happy with it. Haida asks, Luke, what are your thoughts about adding star diffraction spikes on your final images? I personally don't like to do that kind of thing. I like to portray an image exactly how I captured it. Aside from manipulation of colors with processing and stuff like that, because you're gonna have to stretch it anyway, otherwise there's nothing to see, right? So what's wrong with changing the palette to match whatever you intend to display? But stuff like let's say adding artificial batting of spikes, diffraction spikes using software, that kind of thing. It's not for me, but you know, I've nothing against people who want to do that. But if you want to make captures and use a mask, then yeah, why not? If you like stars with spikes, particularly on clusters, I think they can look absolutely beautiful. Then go for it, I'd say, mate, if it makes you happy. Danielle Munoz Luna. Hi, Luke from Santiago, Chile. Whoa, beautiful skies there, eh, mate? Only clouds here for weeks. The next sentence I read. Sorry. Yeah, well, when it's clear, it's beautiful skies, I imagine. Chris, how's it going, Chris? Just to say hi. Clouds here now and getting an early night soon. Oh, well, I appreciate you popping in, Chris. As always, mate. How come the camera showing the scope and the sky doesn't look that dark? Is it an optical illusion? So it is. It's not as bright as that here, but it is pretty bright still. We don't get any true darkness at this time of the year in this far north in England. Don't know if right on the southern coast and stuff they still get darkness, but I imagine probably not. But yeah, that's why, mate. It is just genuinely pretty darn bright out there. Pete still hasn't gotten his cam back. I've still got it. I'm holding it hostage, mate. How's it going, by the way, Wombat? Dimitrios, wow, you got another clear night. I did indeed, mate. It's been a lucky one. Looks like, though, Dimitrios, that this could be it, unfortunately, for above a week. If the weather forecast is to be believed, anyway. Gil says, speaking of experience with mono, Luke, can you tell me what's your optimal ratio of RGB to luminance? Well, Gil, I tried to keep it as simple as possible, and I would tend to shoot 50-50. So, as I said, I used interleaved capture methods, as I didn't want to be caught short by, you know, a prematurely ended session and then no clear skies for 3 more weeks, leaving me with an incomplete image. That used to really bug me. So what I used to do is I'd capture, let's say, R, G, B, L, 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 and then rinse and repeat. And that's kind of what it would look like. Sometimes if I, you know, really expected it would stay clear, I'd be slightly more brave and go, you know, like R, 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 G, 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 B, 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 and then 9 luminance shots. But generally speaking, it was the first way around. I hope that explains what I used to do. I found that was a good balance, you know, between the amount of available color that you could manipulate in processing and a nice, still quite a rich luminance channel. Mono has 3 times more light, and on one-shot color is filtering 2 RGB for every pixel. 2600 MCGO and a 2600 mm. Mono is significantly better in so many ways. I don't know about that, John. You see, like, while you're capturing, let's say your red channel for mono, I'm capturing red too, as you can see, and I'm capturing green twice, and I'm capturing blue. Do you know what I mean? So it's not as clear cut as just saying it covers 3 times more light, because while it might do for any given moment, you need, you know, to finish an image by using multiple color channels. So all that time that you're spending gathering red only, I'm gathering the other colors. Then when it comes to time for you to switch to green, for example, I'm still gathering red, more of it, and I'm continuing capturing green and the blue. You know what I mean? I have tried to test these things side by side before, you know, running mono and one-shot color. I've done it a few times on this channel, and the difference certainly ain't 3 times. That's for sure. Let's see. I mean, imaging NGC 7000 at 1200mm, very nice, mate. You have almost 4% overexposed pixels. Why do you choose such a high gain? Justin Time asks. Let's see, Justin. Let's see how it looks. So, right here, we can see we have 2,874 overexposed pixels on an image comprising of a 64 million pixel frame. I think we can go with that. Yeah. Oh crikey! I've just seen Pete's arrived. Pete. My word, mate. That's unbelievable. Thank you so much for those gifted subs, and welcome aboard to all the new members. My my members list is now getting out of hand in a good way. Thanks to Pete and the other gifted memberships. Unbelievable stuff, mate. Thank you very much indeed, Pete. Your support is phenomenal. Let's see. James, how's it going, James? Hi from cloudy New Zealand. Well, I hope it clears for you soon, James. Hi from cloudy and windy Boston, Massachusetts. Says Toigar. I hope I'm getting your name right there, mate. Cloudy and windy. Perfect astronomy weather. No astronomical night in London. Thanks for clearing that up, John. Until early August either. So it's really just about as bad for you, I imagine, buddy. Ian Martin, can you recommend anyone to service Skywatcher EQ5 mounts? Ooh. Dark Frame Optics in the UK do mount servicing and hypertuning and things like that. I've never used them myself personally, so I can't honestly say with any confidence about them though. So there is that. But aside from that, if you purchased them from, you know, First Light Optics, Rother Valley, 365, that kind of thing, and it needs some work doing, I'm sure they'd be more than happy to take it on if you just get in contact with them. Just catching up now with Pete's gift. Crikey, yeah. What a legend. Thank you very much indeed, Pete. You are the man. Lee says, hey Luke, sitting in southeast Connecticut, eating dinner and enjoying your skies. Brilliant. Well, I hope you really enjoy your dinner, mate. I've nothing but clouds the last few weeks. Oh no. No change in sight. Well, I hope that changes for you, Lee. Sooner rather than later, mate. Casey is doing very well. Really glad to hear that. That's and you got your news, so you're happy. Fantastic, Casey. I'm chuffed to hear it, mate. That really has made my evening. Pete's here for his cam. He is indeed. Sorry about the delay. I am catching up, I think. Who really wants to keep his name on that camera, says Matt Draxler. I think he really genuinely has more than bought this camera a few times over now as Pete. I think that's solidly staying Pete's cam from now on. Crikey. And actually, as we look at Pete's cam, it is pretty darn clear. So hopefully it's going to stay that way. Pete the gift god, yes. KU Astro asks, Luke, is this the B-Link EU59 mini PC you're using right now? Impressions so far. I've been struggling with the Melee Quieter 4C Pro, 4C Mini rather. It crashes all the time. I like it, mate, but for a full frame camera, I can't recommend it. I would say that. For APS-C though, that kind of thing, if you wanted to do live stacking, that works absolutely fine. So there is that. We do have in the observatory the other rig running on a Melee Quieter 4C, and that's gave us no trouble at all though. So swings and roundabouts a little bit, it sounds like. Yeah, we've had no crashes with that one. Dan Bartlett, +1 one-shot colour for Comet imaging. Ooh, that's a good point, Dan. Yeah, can't imagine trying to shoot comets with traditional RGB. I know it's doable, but by braver men than I, I'm sure. Couldn't bear to change the filters. Many times the comet can only be imaged for less than an hour. Personal opinion, with 14 NASA A-pods and rubbing it in. Well, congratulations, Dan. That is quite the credentials list, mate. That's unbelievable. Ouch. Anybody have any strong feelings about one-shot colour for planetary imaging these days, by the way? I know some of the best images are taken with mono, but equally, sometimes you'll see Damien Peach and the like these days occasionally using one-shot colour and getting absolutely ripping images. How are you imaging? I'm maybe 20 miles away and it's 90% cloud. I think I've just sent them your way. Jesus, it's been it's been pretty rough here actually, just a little bit earlier on. It seems to have cleared up nicely now though. Village idiot, good evening, looking good. Look, oh, thank you, mate. I'm sure you mean the image rather than me though. Let's see. I'll switch it back onto sharp gap for us for a minute. Let's change the position of the view as well. I think we'll now appreciate the Pelican for a short while. So that's the full field of view. We'll take a look at this in a minute actually. I'll try to catch up just a touch. Linux Astro, howdy, how's it going, mate? Good to have you in another stream. Random Error1, just noticed you went live. Awesome, mate. Well, thank you for clicking and coming and checking it out. Let's see, John with mono, 20 minutes red plus 20 minutes green plus 20 minutes blue is on every pixel. It's the same hour a one-shot color gets, an hour of red and blue on a quarter of the pixels and green on half the pixels. That's true, John, but like I say, I mean, it gets that hour on a quarter of the pixels, plus when we stack, we use interpolation, which reads, you know, the values of the nearby pixels, interpolates what seems to be the most likely solution for other nearby pixels that don't have relevant data. So in this case, once I've stacked this using interpolation, as it's predominantly red, as you can see, we will have values in there stored for the oxygen and the oxygen 3. But the HA stuff is going to come through better than you would expect, thanks to that little solution. But yeah, I see what you're saying, John. But like I say, if you've tested yourself, you're going to see the difference really ain't that much between mono and one-shot color these days. It used to be. My first proper Astro cam was an Attic 314L+. And back then there were no comparison between a one-shot color camera and mono. It just knocked its socks off. But now, I mean, I've got both, you know, I've got plenty of modern cameras of both mono and one-shot color. Tested them all, and there just ain't that much difference. Let's see. I'm not, by the way, I just want to say, John, I appreciate the back and forth, mate. I'm not trying to say, you know, I'm right, you're wrong. Blah, blah, blah. Not at all. I'm just trying to say, from someone who's used both, oftentimes side by side, I don't think there's much in it. SMA sky, we've got clear skies tonight. There isn't much for me to see from the backyard this time of the year. Regulus and Arcturus are about it. Ooh, that's rough, mate. CDs. Is one-shot color like a DSLR's ability to shoot one-shot color? I don't yet understand the difference, if there is one. One-shot color is effectively like DSLR, mate, yes, but just an Astro modded one, effectively. So oftentimes DSLRs, they have low-pass filters, which can stop moire effects. So that's like the cross-hatching when you'd view fine mesh structures, sometimes like a screen or even an insect mesh on a door, things like that. So there's none of that, which cuts out some light, you know, that can reach a DSLR. Only some DSLRs have it. And also they oftentimes have a little bit too aggressive cutoff on the infrared end of the spectrum. So it eats into the potential hydrogen alpha sensitivity too. So that's what really makes a one-shot color superior to DSLR. But effectively, if you took an uncooled, modified DSLR and the same sensor in a one-shot color camera, there would be just about no difference, except for potentially some on-camera processing, which is occasionally unavoidable even when shooting raw formats on some cameras. Robert Hope. Hi, mate. How's it going, Rob? Actually, imaging tonight, completely clear. Part of the North American. Very nice, mate. Very nice indeed. John Davies, still use one-shot color for planetary because of the rotation. Yeah, comets are easier too, so basically anything moving or bright that doesn't need the sensitivity. That's fair, mate. What kind of camera are you using for Pete's cam? Asks Random Error1. It is a Reolink CX410, mate, and don't do a bad job. It's a f1 sensor on this thing, f1 lens rather, paired up with a Sony Starvis sensor, I believe. So I don't know which sensor exactly. I just realised Jesus himself has joined the chat. He has indeed. He's a regular on the channel, so we have the Lord's approval. You know what I'm saying? It's the only way is up on this channel. Lee asks, when you do your flats for the LX stream, do you shoot for 50% of the mean or something less than that? Good question, Lee. Sometimes it depends a little bit on the scope. So on the RASA, I prefer the flats to be very slightly hotter than usual. So I might aim for, if I can see a histogram peak to use, and I'm setting it myself, might aim for about 60%. But generally speaking, yes, about 50%, as long as I'm not truncating any data from the left or the right hand side of the histogram, and most of the flat itself is concentrated on the center, it should be fine. Juju Bean. Hey Luke, processing some cat's eye data from my 14-inch Newt tonight. Wow. What a scope, mate. Yeah, 14-inch Newt. But that's a heck of a thing. If you shoot the HA in mono, then I get the same light as a one-shot color with dual narrowband. However, I get 4 times more pixels working. One-shot color is only using a quarter of the pixels. Interpolation applies just as well on mono. That's true, mate, but like I say, if you're relying on interpolation, and it does such a good job, especially some of the newer VNG methods, that kind of thing. And like I say, what's the difference? I would ask John, have you tried both? You know, for deep sky stuff like this, and put them side by side? Because, like I say, I have, and I really don't see much difference. Certainly not the stated 4 times or anywhere near it. You know, it's more like I say, 20% or something. It seems like once all said and done, and you take 10 hours and devote it to a target in one-shot color, and then shoot it again in mono, there just ain't that much difference. Pete says, I still like one-shot color, but do prefer mono these days. Find the data easier to process. Whether it really is or not is debatable, but I certainly notice it when processing narrowband images. Yeah, I'd say there can certainly be something to be said for that, Pete. Processing one-shot color stuff can be a bit of a twist. Do you know what I mean? Mono's, by its nature, more clinical, a bit more scientific, if you like. So it is easier to use. Once you've got used to processing one-shot color, it's, you know, as you've shown on your channel, actually, processing quite a bit of one-shot color data, it's perfectly doable, ain't it? Linux Astro. Clear here as well. Been working on a guiding issue. If that gets solved, it's a good night. Fantastic, mate. Well, I just changed my balance a little bit from the other night, and it seems that with the wind down a little bit now, we're okay. We're guiding okay, and all is well. Wombat threw a Peltier cooler on the back of his Canon 200D when I use DSLR. Helps with sensor noise. I worry a little bit about condensation, that kind of thing, Wombat me. I assume you're in a much drier climate though, aren't you? I'd strap it to the screen where it would fold into the body of the camera. Yeah, the sensor's smack opposite that, ain't it? Bulbal, good to see you. Just lost some of chat, sorry. Just had a clear sky last night, and I managed to gather almost 4 hours of the North American Nebula. Very nice, mate. Have you stacked it up and had a look yet? Toaster. Hello, Luke. Hello, everyone. Hello to you too, mate. Are we all shooting the same target? Asks Peter Baldwin. Potentially, yeah. I've been itching to make a capture of this region, you know, a proper capture. After we took some brief shots doing EAA, that kind of thing, I really felt like this region needs some love. So here we are, gathering some data. And as I say, I'll put this out there eventually as part of a tutorial, that kind of thing. People can have a bit of fun with that. Hopefully. Gotta love the 90 minutes of darkness in the UK at this time of the year. Yep. Makes for some pretty brief streams, don't it, mate? Random Error 1, I'm debating trying to photograph some targets tonight. Was up until 5 AM last night. Conditions were too good to stop. Good on you, mate. Yeah, make the most of it while you can. John says, I have tried both. I have the MC and the MM. Got you. To compare, there's a notable difference. There is simply more data in mono. Well, you hear no argument from me there, mate. Yeah, there is more data in mono, but not like 3 times, like I say. I think we're probably looking at this 2 different ways. Do you know what I mean? I'm thinking of 10 hours on a target, end result in both cases, and yeah, there will be more data. Ouch! Hang on, my chair's trying to murder me. With the mono, for sure. But as I say, maybe I'm a one-shot color fanboy. Let's see. Lobster Claw and Bubble Nebula for me, says Alex. Very good, mate. Got the Sea Star running tonight, says Toaster. Been having some fun with it. My back is like a twiglet nowadays. It's made doing AP achievable again. Well, I'm sorry to hear your back gives you so much jip, mate, but I'm glad the Sea Star's got your back out. That's all that really counts. That really is fantastic. I'm only laughing because my back's been in absolute bits for the past week as well. I've been waking up and shuffling to the toilet. It's not good. Let's see. If you're shooting broadband, say just galaxies on one rig, I wonder if one-shot color is the way to go. I've always liked it for that, mate. Yeah. I think if I'm going to try and win an A-pod or something like that, oops. Yeah, I'd probably want to get just stuck in with mono only and the narrowest filters that I could, that kind of thing. But I'm not. So, you know, I'm just here to have some fun. Kyrek, my last 2 imaging sessions have been ruined by dew. Oh no, even though I have dew heaters. I think the dew heater on my Uranus C Pro has quit working. Ooh. Have you double checked? I know it may seem obvious, but have you double checked that it is still on if you've done a recent driver upgrade on the Player 1 cams at all? I've noticed that some things get turned off occasionally and I have to flick them back onwards. Oh, crikey, Pete. You absolute legend, mate. Unbelievable. That's 100 gifted subs tonight. Pete. Mate, what can I say other than thank you? You're quite literally changing my life, mate, recently. It's been unbelievable. The support. Jeez. Thank you, mate. Thank you. I'll just try and get more caught up. Sorry, I'm having to adjust myself in my seat. Force said shattered back. Unbelievable. Love to learn how you process mosaics. Well, if you want to know how I stack them, Hyder, then I do have a tutorial kind of thing on that, on how I do it, and I use Astro Pixel Processor for putting them together. I find that that really does a good job of making seamless mosaics. All the rest of the processing is just like one image then, effectively. With the dark edges from the scope, how do you set up panel shots to be smooth contrast across the stitched image? Center the main details in the middle of each panel. No wombat. Just trust that your flats are going to calibrate them out. So if you've got your flats down and working properly, then mosaicing with just a 10 or 15% overlap. I always went about 15% myself. Works absolutely fine. Each panel gets flat corrected, so the vignette that you're mentioning goes. You know what I mean? Hopefully mosaics will become easier than ever, by the way, when PixInsight finishes that Mars project. That should do an absolutely fantastic job at getting rid of these large-scale gradients, that kind of thing. Just trying to catch up a little bit more. Thank you to whoever gifted me a sub, says Toaster. That will almost certainly have been Pete's Astrophotography, which, by the way, has a channel, does Pete. If you guys aren't aware, go ahead and check him out. He couldn't hope to meet a nicer chap. If you ask him anything, he'll get back to you. Bulbal, I'm working on processing right now. Satisfying for me, but nothing close to your images. I think a lot of my images, mate, is just amount of data that I rip down from the raster. Do you know what I mean? It is like Astro cheat codes, as I've said before. It really is nutty. HLCO, Highly Community Observatory. Do we have time for mono in the UK? Sometimes. Sometimes, mate. But yeah, it's a good consideration. I know that, like I said, there are people out there that have got both and prefer the mono, as John in the chat does. And there are, of course, people the other way, like me, who have both and prefer one-shot colour. It all depends, I suppose, on a little bit what your goals are and whether you need every last single photon that you possibly can capture. I know it sounds like you always would, but I don't know. These days I find with processing being as strong as it is and data being as malleable as it is from these wonderful new cameras that we have, I always find I can get exactly what I'm looking for, really, from an image, just with one-shot colour. That's me, though. If I'm considering mono, I always think about diminishing returns. With mono, you have much more money to invest, with 20% improvement, but double or even triple the cost. Money isn't a concern. That's fair, mate. Yeah, I suppose for a lot of people, they just factor that in as part of the cost of the game. You know what I mean? Like I say, I think a lot of it's more down to what you're looking to get out of astrophotography. If you're approaching it like an F1 team, who will spend millions to shave off a tenth of a second on a lap time, then yeah, you're going to shoot mono. There's no question about it. But I think a lot of people like me aren't. Do you know what I mean? Chuck, how's it going, Chuck? Good to see you in chat, mate. How's things been for you? Let's see. Way to add a filter wheel to a raster. Ooh, you can. There is enough room. I expect you'd start to see some strange artifacts around brighter stars, though, mate. We do have some slight evidence of a bit of cable diffraction going on, but nothing too drastic over here. Why don't you try a comparison of 1 hour total of mono and one-shot colour with HA03 on a deep sky emission nebula for a video one night? That'd be a cool video, I think, John. I have already done some like that, but never with like the same setup. I'm trying to think of how I'd do it. Really, I'd need 2 equal scopes, wouldn't I, to make it fair? Otherwise, you know, there'd always be someone saying, but the night looked better on the mono night, or whatever way around it is. You know what I mean? That's how it is, I guess. But yeah, that's a cool suggestion, John. I would like to do something like that eventually, mate. Let's see. Another saw back. Oh no. Just catching up with chat, by the way. Sorry, guys. Pete, again, yeah, what a legend, Pete, you are, mate. Thank you so much for the support, buddy. Unbelievable. And welcome again, by the way, to all the new members. Really fantastic to have you in here. Completed 4 images in the southeast this year. Oof. Conditions have been pretty woeful. Thinking of going remote now. Interesting. Oof, that's a tough one. I don't know how I really feel about remote imaging. I got approached a little while back by crikey, what's the name now? Can't remember anyway. A big remote imaging company anyway, and they wanted me to review their services as such, and I just couldn't get behind it. Not because there's anything wrong with the company or anything like that. It's, you know, nothing like that, but just because I really don't think it'll scratch the itch for me. I feel like if I haven't done it myself, just not bothered. Do you know what I mean? I'd sooner download some Hubble data if I were that desperate for data to process. But equally, I'm not poo-pooing anybody who chooses to go remote and use remote services and things like that. We're all different, aren't we? At the end of the day, what works for me, works for me. It's not necessarily going to work for other people. But yeah. Just sub to Pete's channel, bit of payback for him. Fantastic, Richard. Good on you, mate. +1 for one shot colour. There's Linux Astro. You've got my back, mate. It's good. Nah, seriously, I can appreciate both. James says, I've only started to get into one-shot colour imaging from watching this channel. Started off with narrowband. Interesting, James. How have you found it then, mate? The change from going from, you know, initially starting off with mono and getting into one-shot colour a bit. I use one-shot colour as I don't fancy getting one colour a week, says Peter Baldwin. It does be like that sometimes, doesn't it, mate? I'll tell you what, if I lived somewhere with a lot of clear skies, you know, Spain or whatever, I can imagine probably then I would be looking at maximising things a little bit more and doing much bigger projects, in which case I probably would look at mono a bit more seriously, but I don't know, even as I'm saying that, I'm talking myself out of it in my head and saying, nah, you've always had more fun with one-shot colour. Telford, how's it going, mate? Imagine a full set of LRGB and narrowband all F2 for a raster. That would be quite something, mate, wouldn't it? Some people do that, don't they, of course, with filter sliders, that kind of thing. I think I'm just too lazy for it. The mono versus one-shot colour stream today. It is a bit, yeah. Corinne, staying with one-shot colour, even though I live in London, under ball 8 to 9 skies. And some say it's better to go mono. I'm a colour guy. I hear that, Corinne. I think I'm right there with you. Just a bit of a colour guy. I just like the way it makes me feel. You know what I mean? Mono doesn't quite scratch the same itch for me. Cost is definitely an issue, says Pete. Comparing mono to one-shot colour. Full set of 2-inch filters on mono makes it far more expensive. It's probably fair to say that one-shot colour is much better value. I agree, mate. I think that is fair to say, indeed. Suppose it's lessened if you've already got good filters and stuff. You've come from a mono background and you want to get a new mono camera, then it's, you know, a no-brainer. But yeah, absolutely. If you're just starting out and you're looking at which one to get, you know, if you're like anything like me and you start putting stuff in your shopping cart online, and you think to yourself, "Oh my god, that could buy me a car." It becomes a little bit harder then, but Ben McLaren, I'm torn. I love my Attic 383 mono, but love the speed. My DSLR, ooh. Yeah, the 383s were a really loved sensor, weren't they, mate, for a long time. I remember back when I had my 314, like I say, I always wanted a 383. Stitch is simply colour due to budget, but happy most of the time with what I capture. That's good, mate. Well, as long as you're happy with what you're capturing. Now, that is the key point, I think. Yeah, if you're happy, then don't change anything. You don't need to. You're doing it all right. Queever's made a video about remote. He has indeed, mate, yeah. I remember chatting to him a little bit, just talking about it and seeing what his thoughts were. Brian Kotak. Hey, Luke, do you ever sleep? So many live streams. I just thought I'd make the most of it, you know what I mean, Brian? You're a superstar, man. Thank you. That's really kind of you to say. Hanging out at my cabin/cottage this weekend. Brilliant. Well, I really hope you enjoy your time hanging out at the cabin, Brian. That's wonderful, mate. Samuel Grund joining in while observing from the Nordic Optical Telescope, 2.56 meters. Wow, at the Observatorio Rock de los Muchachos. Speaking of Spain. Yeah. Awesome, buddy. That must be a heck of a telescope, eh? John says, I agree on the cost. Mono needs a lot more money investment, so you need to be pretty serious. It is, mate, yeah. It is indeed. Bulbal, don't want to change the subject, but you being a guy from the UK, I think you are a soccer fan. Ooh, I mean football, what's your favourite football club? I'm just happy my favourite team just signed Jose Mourinho. I don't watch football. I'm sorry. If something like the World Cup's on, then I'll watch it and root for wherever, but yeah, outside of that, mate, I'm afraid I don't watch it. Yeah, my bad. Let's see. One shot colour for me, says Ian Martin. Every time. Easy to use, time factor and expense are all factors that made my mind up for one shot colour. Looks like we have a little bit of some wonderful friendly clouds popping in on Pete's cam. If it just stays that side of the frame, then it's okay. Something tells me it's not gonna, is it? Robert Hope, is there anyone on this chat in Lanzarote? I'm looking to make some connections. Crikey. Lanzarote, eh? Let's see. Decall. Luke, what do you think are current trends in astrophotography in terms of style and targets? Ooh. Good question, mate. I think we're doing the oldest tricks in the newest ways now. You know, I really don't expect there's that much different between, you know, someone who's just started out in imaging this last year or last few years versus someone who started out 10 years ago or whatever. We've all still came to it from, you know, from an appreciation of what we're looking at, I suppose. So probably the same sort of things please us at the end of the day. Just making an image that we think is beautiful. If you mean technical trends, though, certainly a lot more quads, quadruplet apochromats and stuff popping up, and that's a good thing, I reckon. As costly as they are, the price is coming down now that there's more and more of them about. They seem to be made really well, generally speaking, and they're also something which I'm a major fan of. They lower the difficulty barrier of entry into astrophotography for people, which I can always get behind. You know, I wish we had more and more and more people into astrophotography. It almost seems cruel that it's really just a bit of a select bunch that ends up enjoying so much from the night sky when it's there for us all. Toaster05, I need to get a filter education. I hope I haven't missed your meaning, by the way, Decall. I'm still bewildered by the choice and what I need for my sky conditions. Ooh, Toaster. Tough question, mate. Let us know what you're imaging with, be it one-shot colour or mono, and what your aims are. If you have to shoot in broadband targets, you know, small nebula targets, things like that. And I'm sure that either I or someone else in chat will be able to help you with that one. Let's just see if I can quieten down those PhD bongs. I'm sorry about that, guys. Titch says Nikki still has a 314 Attic, and I bet it still works like the day you got it as well. Mine were absolutely bulletproof, mate. I really liked that camera. Just sent a Rokinon 135 and an ASI 183 to Starfront Observatory in Texas to do remote imaging. Oh, very nice, mate. Well, that setup's only $200 a month to rent a pier. That's not too bad, I guess, Michael. I mean, for me, it wouldn't be affordable. Like, 200 quid a month's just... Like I say, it's getting on towards a small mortgage, innit? You know what I mean? That kind of thing. But if you've got the cash, dude, go for it. Do you know what I mean? Go for it. Those clouds coming in. Yeah, unfortunately. Those clouds coming in to kill your sub, says Erwin. Yes, indeed, mate. I'm hoping... We'll just watch Skycam a minute while I try and catch up with chat. Yeah, I'm hoping to clear off again shortly. John Davies says, you don't need more time for mono. It's not one filter a night. That would take a year in the UK. Absolutely, mate, yeah. I'm doing 22 minutes each on SHO, so about 45 minutes each with focus and dithering. Yeah, if you're really being efficient with it, like John mentions there, then it's not too bad at all. I still think one-shot colour has the advantage with being just like the ultimate in... What's the word I'm looking for? It almost feels like a minimalist approach. You know what I mean? Because if you want more data, you just gather more subs, and it's all the same thing. And I really like that, but mono adds a slight layer of complexity, but it's nothing when you're used to it, I suppose. Leeds being mentioned here, yes, mate. Boo football, yay astronomy. I can get behind that, John, yeah. Don't like football. Heathen! Pete's taking back all those gifted subs now. Don't have any interest in the Premiership, etc. Yeah. You know, a lot of my family enjoys it, football and that kind of thing, but I just never really got started with it, to be honest. I enjoyed playing it as a kid at school, but never carried it into my adult life. What are you seeing values looking like? Not counting clouds. Ooh. Couldn't tell you, mate. We are actually walking outside and having a look. That's the way I'm used to judging the scene, just by seeing how much the stars are scintillating, twinkling. Oh, crikey. He-Man with the $5. Thank you very much indeed for that, mate. Done with the mo. Oh, mate. Thank you for what you do. Keep up the good work, bud. Thank you very much indeed. That's really kind of you, He-Man. Appreciate it, mate. What were I saying now? I've lost my train of thought. What are you seeing values looking like? Yeah, that were it. I could do with going around a little bit of a look in just a moment and seeing what's what, but yeah, it don't look too hot, does it, at the minute, guys? Thankfully, we seem to be filtering out the bad subs with sharp cap there. If I just turn off my face cam for you a minute, you can see the last sub that came in has been rejected, thankfully, so it's not going to look ugly on this live stack for us. I'll, of course, go through these later on tonight and delete all the guff, as usual. I do like to hand filter my subs where possible. I think it does a really good job. I don't know how you guys feel about that. Certainly wouldn't want to do it if I had 5,000 subs, though, but I know some people out there do. One Astro Imager who I've followed for a long time, called Stefan Gonza. He images from France. He does one-shot colour sometimes, and then mono combinations, where he'll use 2 different cameras on separate nights. And he does like lucky imaging. And I know that he goes through every single sub he captures, so in some cases 20,000 plus subs, and filters them out manually one by one. Now that's some dedication. You know what I mean? You may have seen him mentioned on one of my old videos. I think he goes by the name online of XX. The guy I was just talking about. Unfortunately, due to light pollution, people don't see it anymore. Let's see. When I started astrophotography, I was hoping at least one of your children was going to enjoy it with you, but no luck. Oh. Well, I suppose there's always time, mate. It took me until I was... Crikey, what will I have been? About 23? Or something like that, to really start paying attention to the night sky. I'd always appreciated it, but never found the will to purchase a telescope up until about that point. And now I'm getting on in years. I'm 35, so it's been a long passion. Let's see. Anyone know asks Brian Kotak if the 585 MC Pro can plate solve a native C8 focal length. Ooh, Brian, I think it could, you know, if you used long enough solving exposure. So in some cases that might look like a 20-second exposure or even a 30-second exposure. And it will vary based on where you're pointing in the night sky too. So if you're imaging in Cygnus, Brian, with that 585 and your 2000mm focal length, you'll probably plate solve fine, as it's just awash with stars, because we're looking towards the Milky Way itself, of course. But if you're looking out of the plane of the Milky Way, out into space itself, I mean, it's all space, that's the wrong term, but out into beyond our galaxy, then the stars are going to be fewer, and you will have a little bit more trouble plate solving. At least that's how I feel about it. Maybe someone else has got direct experience with that combination. HLCO says, we do a lot of EAA live stacking and mono ain't the same. Yeah, I appreciate that, mate. I certainly, if I was doing EAA and that kind of thing, one-shot color, yeah, no-brainer. And even for my day-to-day imaging, like I say, this is my job, and I still prefer one-shot color, but maybe that's a personality thing. Do you know what I mean? Minimalist, get a C-star. I can't argue with that, John. Yeah. There's something to be said for the C-star, mate. I am a little bit behind on chat, guys. I'm very sorry. I'm doing my best to catch up. Random error on regarding football. That's how I feel as an American who doesn't watch American football. Yeah. Probably cut from the same cloth, mate. I find mono images actually far easier to process than one-shot color, much clearer and more detail. Well, yeah, I like I say, I think mono, you can certainly be more formulaic with your processing approach. For me, when I'm processing one-shot color images, sometimes it will throw up unexpecteds throughout, but I'm kind of used to just dealing with them now. But that's because I process so much one-shot color data, I suppose. Let's see. Paul Severance. Luke, do you recommend taking separate stars only subs and using those in your final process stack, or just deal with the stars separately using StarX or similar? Nah, mate, I just take everything and process it all at once. I think ever since getting BlurXTerminator, I don't know if you have this, so this is speaking from someone who uses BlurXTerminator on every image now. I haven't found the need for any special star processing anymore. I always like the way that the stars look after that thing's been used. Sometimes, depending on the target, depending on what I'm going for, I'll pull the stars out, not to further process them really so much, but more just to work on the background image and then pop them back in. But I find myself doing that less and less, to be honest, these days now. So that is what it is. If you don't use BXT though, then I can maybe see a bit more of an approach on processing your stars totally separately. Plate solver with the 2600 on Edge 11, says Ian Smith. Yeah, if you're plate solving in that, mate, it's and it's comfortable, you know what I mean, it should be fine. Is the Rio Link waterproof, Luke? Wondering if they'd be useful as meteor cams. It states that it is, Tim, yeah, it says that it's IP... Oh, you know, I can't remember, so I won't say. I don't want to give you any misinformation. But it does say in the listing, I think, that it is waterproof. It's certainly marketed as an outdoors camera. This sky looks a bit bad, doesn't it, guys? I hope we haven't been... we haven't been knacked in now at this point, as we're just about to reach... what are we at? 56 minutes, nearly an hour of usable data. Edward Bourneman, greetings from Orlando, Florida. Good to have you, Edward. Nice to see you in a stream, mate. Hope you're keeping well. D-Call, my summer project. Got such an itchy nose today, sorry. You must think there's something wrong with me. Don't know what's going on. My summer project is to build an equatorial platform with your dad for a 12-inch dob to do planetary and EAA. Fantastic. Yeah, hope to get him hooked on Astro a bit. They sometimes called, I think, a Ponset platform, aren't they? They're a cool bit of kit, mate. Peter Baldwin, it makes me laugh when I get in the taxi and the driver says, "Did you watch the match?" I says, "No, I was taking pictures of objects in space." Oh, crikey. Manual filtering of 20,000 subs. Isn't that the sort of thing we invented computers to do? Yeah, well, I suppose the thing is, his results speak for themselves, I have to say. I've always looked at some of his images as a bit of an inspiration, so what he does works. You know what I mean? Russ needs to release StarXTerminator. Same age as you, Sam, eh? 35, I've got t-shirts that are older than that. Me a baby still. Oh, crikey, I've only just caught up on this bit of chat. I'm sorry, guys. I am an absolute mile behind. You're a pup at 35. My daughter is 37. Luckily, I still feel just like I did when I was a kid, so no worries there. Except for this itchy nose. I don't remember that as a kid. Trying to catch up just a touch. Plate Solomon, I use 5-second exposure at bin 4. That's good advice, Ian. Yeah, binning can really help for sure. Didn't know you went live, says Tariq. Hey, good to have you in another live stream, Tariq. So tempted to put the refractor out, but watching Luke's clouds is kind of relaxing. Well, in that case, mate, I think we'll go full cloud cam for a moment. You can see there's a couple of layers to those, actually, by the looks of things. Interesting. It's certainly changed the whole colour of what's being reflected down into the observatory now. Weird. Don't know if we can see what looks like shadows as well from that lower level of cloud being cast on the higher level. Am I hallucinating that, or is the ground pollution so bad? Jeez. Start to pay attention to the skies this year at 45. Hey, well, that's spot on, He-Man. You should have a lifetime ahead of you, mate, to enjoy them with. And things are only going in the right direction, aren't they? That's at least one thing I'd say we can all comfortably agree on. Astronomy has gotten better over the past decade at the very least. I remember from when I first started, it just seemed like, it was probably some inexperience at the time speaking here as well, but I remember everything was just bloody difficult. Nothing seemed to make much sense at all, but now it seems like software has matured to the point where it's a lot easier. Do you know what I mean? I think if I were getting started all over again, I'd probably be going, you know, maybe something just simple like ASI Air and a one-shot colour, that kind of thing. But as I do this, like I say, for my job, I need to be able to review everything, don't I? So mini PCs, Nina, Sharp Cap, that kind of thing is the way for me. Stefan says, I use mono, narrowband, or LRGB, depending on the target, if I care about the result. For instance, if I want to print it. If I just want to have a relaxed and fun night, I usually go for one-shot colour. Yeah, I can get behind that, Stefan. Isaac says, for your information, you don't necessarily need to refocus after every filter change. With filter offsets, you can adjust for any differences in focus position without needing to do a whole autofocus run. That's very true, mate. The problem that prevented me from doing that, Isaac, was I always used to use, you know, like Crayford type focuses, the cheap ones, and they always had a little bit of slip, unfortunately. So with a rack and pinion, where there's a calculable amount of backlash, isn't there, you know, every time, absolutely filter offsets do that, yeah. But some scopes I had were so good in terms of the color correction, they just didn't need refocusing anyway, so I just let it do its thing, you know what I mean? But you're absolutely right with that, yeah, that's good advice. Have you tried using the StarStretch script? I haven't, mate, no, I haven't given it a go. Evening chaps, sky looks a bit bright outside, says Ed. Yeah, you're not kidding, mate, it's not looking too hot, is it? Let's see. Recently set up, plate solving our main imaging instrument here. 3 arc-minute field radius. Wow, that is a small field, yeah. Anything larger than that should be easily possible with astrometry.net. Hot here today, says Jason. 43, mate. That is hot. Crikey. I'm thinking it's like mafting hot in here right now, and we're at 25.6 in the observatory. I don't fancy nearly added 20 degrees to that. Jeez, mate. That is rough. Took me into my late 30s to get my first scope. Always had an interest in astro, now 51, and still learning, never too old to learn. Absolutely, mate. Yeah, that's the way to look at it. Just wish it was less cloudy. CloudXTerminator, I would buy that one in a heartbeat, mate. Yeah. First started visual astronomy over 40 years ago. Crikey. That's some experience to draw on there, mate. I hope you don't mind me saying. Lubo, how's it going, Lubo? Too busy today, but I will listen. Hey, that's absolutely fine, buddy. Brendan O'Keefe, great idea, this live view thingy, keep it up. Oh, I'm really glad to hear that, Brendan. I really enjoy these live streams. It's something I wanted to do more of last year, but unfortunately some life circumstances prevented it. But now, you know, trying to make the most of it. The sky's not really being that helpful, though, at the minute, but certainly look to see more of these live streams coming in the future. Pete says, my first scope was a homemade 3.5-inch newt that my dad and I built from plans in the Astronomy Now magazine about 40 years ago. That's awesome, Pete. Yeah, that's core memory stuff, that, mate, innit? Yeah, I suppose you'll remember doing that kind of thing as long as you live. It's the weirdest stuff that I really sticks out in my memory. As you know, like those formative things, even stuff like putting down paving, weird stuff like that with my dad. Can remember it all clear. It's weird, but I couldn't tell you what I had for dinner yesterday. Hardware has matured as well. In reference to what we're talking about there, absolutely, yes, mate. Very, very true. But most of my teens learning the night sky. Then I found beer and didn't come back till my 40s. Dew control, Tim says, if every astronomer was to buy dew heaters from me and we all switch them on at the same time, I can guarantee clear skies for everyone. Yes, I can get on board for that, mate. I don't think the national grid would be on board for that, but I'll be watching these from my villa in the Bahamas. Fair play, mate. Yeah. Let's see. To be fair, I took a 20-year break from the hobby in the middle. Wow. Yeah, well, the good thing is you came back, mate. And as we said earlier in the stream, stars are always there, aren't they? So take a break whenever you need one, eh? Do you use any sulfur 2 and oxygen 3 dual band filters with your one-shot color camera? I don't use that kind of thing, mate. No, it's more just hydrogen alpha, oxygen 3 solely. Dual band filters happen to be my favourites, but there's certainly more than one way to skin a cat, as the saying goes. Oh, crikey. He-Man gifted 5 memberships. Thank you very much indeed for that, He-Man. All the gifted memberships tonight, guys. It's been absolutely phenomenal. Thank you all so much for that. I'm now puzzling out how exactly I'm going to fit this credits list on the next video. I might have to start the credits just as I'm recording my introduction. And we'll go from there. What a fantastic problem to have. Yeah, thank you very much indeed, guys. What did I miss? Friends dropped by to collect some fruit from our garden. Wow. Your garden sounds incredible, mate. Just handing out fruit to your mates. That's brilliant. Not too much, James, is what you missed, mate. A lot of chatting, which is always good. But in terms of the sky, That's what you missed. There's just a bunch of that. So not very much. Let's see, I'm not old, but I still love my brass scope and eyepiece. Peter, 60 next month. Well, happy birthday for next month, Peter. In case I don't catch you before then, mate. Been doing astrophotography since 2008 and started with a self-modded webcam. Would that be, what are they called now? The Philips SPC 900 or something? Or 9000? I can't remember, the one that people were going on about all the time back then. Cheap Astro, how's it going, buddy? Have you ever imaged IC4604, asks Psychobushima? Let me just double check, as I don't know what that is off the top of my head. Rofucius, no. Can't get it from here, mate, unfortunately. Hi Luke from Australia, says Buck Nasty. Very new to DSOs and loving your videos. Awesome, mate. Really, really glad to have you. Hope you're enjoying the streams. As it sounds like you are with the videos. Brilliant. I just need to go check on these clouds a minute, guys, as the PhD bong is driving me loopy. I can hear it on the other PC. Thank goodness you guys can't. I've just nearly busted my knee on the underside of my desk as well. The downsides of being 6'5". Anyway, back in a minute. I can play. Ooh, I'm back. Sorry about that, guys. So it looks clear-ish over in the east, which on I should have really left it on the Skycam. On the Skycam, of course, is over on the left-hand side of the image. But as we can see, it looks like the clouds are actually moving in from the northwest, going to the southeast. So, whether we're going to have any luck in the next 10 or 15 minutes or so, you know, let's see. Oh, crikey, Chris. Defo off now. Good night, all. Hit that like button. Thank you so much, Chris, mate. You're an absolute legend, mate. You've always been so kind with your support for this channel. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it, buddy. Hope you have a good night. I will try and catch up with chat just a little bit. Let's see. These clouds make us take a forced break. Yeah, mate. Let's... An hour-long credit cavalcade. Yes. Live chats certainly make the imaging sessions go quick. They do indeed, Ian, don't they, mate? I've never realised just how long it's taken me to actually catch up and stuff, but when I look at how many subs has been captured, that certainly reminds me. Need to go back to Australia. Southern Hemisphere is glorious. I'd love to see Southern Hemisphere skies one day, mate. 100%, that is a bucket list thing to do. But I don't think it'll be happening in the next year or so, as I can share with you a little bit of news, if you like, exclusively on the live stream. I'm going to be becoming a dad this November for the first time, so that's probably going to nail any Astro trips on the head a little bit for a while, I imagine. Let's see. I have family in a ball one zone in Australia, free accommodation. Let's see. Donkey asked Pete, do you have a YouTube channel in case Pete didn't get back? He does indeed. Definitely give him a check out. I want to see that Pete did reply. Sorry guys, I'm just doing my best to catch up on the chat. Space Stuff says, Luke, for me, the introduction of the ASI Air and the AM5 mount were a game changer for my DSO. Brilliant, mate. Everything from polar aligning to target acquisition, automatic meridian flip, etc. is the best. I love the ASI Air as well, mate, to be honest. It's a heck of a lot of fun. Let's see. Congrats. Oh, I guess you're just seeing what I mentioned. Yeah. Thank you very much, guys. Yeah. Interesting times ahead. Going to be a little boy as well, so another little Luke running around. I don't know. Really looking forward to it though. Good times ahead, eh? May your rifle always be loaded if it's a girl. Oh, I don't know. Crikey, yeah. Thank you so much, guys. That's extremely kind of you all. You'll be awake with the baby, so more time for Astro streams. Exactly. That's my reasoning too, mate. You won't be joining Astro Buddies to the total eclipse in 26. I never say never, mate, but I imagine I'm going to be one busy bee, Anna, for a good while. Yeah. Welcome to the world of having to fight both clouds and child responsibility to catch some photons. Oh, man. Morning, Richard. Good to have you. Things will change for you now, mate. You need a bottle warmer next to your scope. Well, I think, in terms of bottle warmers, I've got one of Tim's dew heaters going spare, so maybe I could heat up the milk with that, you know. Start them young. Dew heater for heating up that milk. Going to be a great grandfather sooner or later. 2 20-somethings living with their boyfriends. Brilliant. Congrats, Luke. I've got 2. They don't seem to be interested in astronomy, though. Ooh, a little clear patch coming. The older used to be, but not anymore. I suppose it's one of those things. Even people who love astronomy may find that things wane and wax again. As does the phase of our own moon. Without getting too romantic about the whole thing. More congratulations. And in Welsh. Ooh, do I go for it and try and pronounce that? I don't know any Welsh at all, of course. Longifarchodo. I butchered that for sure. 100%. I don't know. What's the target tonight? Asks Richard. I'm currently doing first light with Samyang 135 on Cygnus. Well, apparently we're on the same wavelength, mate, as we're on Cygnus as well here. As you can see, NGC 7000, the Pelican Nebula, and this region here, whatever that's called, basically, mate. Just now joining. Congratulations, Luke. Thank you very much, Robert. That's really kind of you, mate. Yeah. Truth be told, it's been a stressful past month and a half. I've wanted to tell you guys on the channel about the the childbirth thing coming up, you know, in November for a while now. But we had some, you know, some early scans were problematic, and it really worried me and Chloe a lot. Do you know what I mean? So until we knew more, we didn't want to say anything, of course, in case things went south. What on earth? Pete. Oh my God, mate. Pete. That's absolutely unbelievable, mate. Thank you so much for that. Oh, I don't know what to say, mate. That really does help. Yeah, it really does help. I've got a lot of stuff coming up. Like I say, I mean, I'm going to be a dad. I need to get on with learning to drive a car. I can't just be sticking to motorbike license anymore. So, mate, that's really going to help out. Thank you very much indeed for that. You're an absolute legend, sir. Stiff salute to you. I don't know what to say. That's unbelievable kindness, mate. That really is. I'm totally lost for words. Pete, you've broken me, mate. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do or say. Jeez, man. Phenomenal. Absolute phenomenal. Just thank you, mate. Thank you so much. Crikey. Pete is a god. Yeah, he is. Lubo says, quite rightly, Pete is a legend. He is. He is indeed. Jeez. Do you think StarXTerminator is ever going to be better than ASI Air in terms of ease of use? Probably not, mate. No, I think ASI Air is just too well funded now. The world needs more Petes. Yes, indeed. Inspirational, mate, honestly. Absolutely, just that kind of kindness is rare, ain't it? Let's be real. So 3 cheers for Pete, you know. Hip hip hooray. What a guy. Unbelievable. Thank you again, mate. Pete, you have a big heart. He does indeed, mate, doesn't he? Crikey. Oh, mate. I've just nearly missed that as well from Sean. I got my 6-year-old with me tonight and I'm teaching her astrophotography. That's awesome, Sean. Absolutely brilliant, mate. Hope you're enjoying that. It's no longer Pete's cam now. You need to work out how to add Pete to the observatory name. I need a plaque making or something on a Pete's observatory. It really is. I'm just using it. So, crikey, just made a great investment in the future of humanity. Crikey, yeah, that really will help out, Pete. So, I mean, more than I can say, mate. Thank you again so much. I've said this before, and obviously it goes without saying. You must know where I'm coming from, but how could you ever prepare for that kind of kindness coming your way? Do you know what I mean? It's just unexpected and unbelievable in equal measure. Unreal. Thank you, mate. A lot of big hearts in the Astro community. Crikey, you're not kidding there, mate. No worries, glad to help. Oh, thank you, Pete. Crikey. Now I must name my son Pete. Little Pete, yeah. Oh, crikey. I'll deliver the news to Chloe in the morning when she wakes up for work. I'll probably still be awake when she gets up for her next shift. So, Chloe, There's been developments. We're gonna have to call our child Pete. Oh. Let us know when your baby comes in November. I will, absolutely will do, mate. Yeah, I'll probably put out. I don't really know how to do it. I do want to share it with people who watch my YouTube channel and let them know. But I don't really know how to share it. Like I say, Pete the Second, yeah. Long line of Pete's all heading off into the future. I can see it now. Some moist eyes in the morning when you tell Chloe. Oh, have we hit some clear? Oh no, it's coming cloudy again. Crikey. I'm blown away. I still don't know what to say. My head's swimming. Unbelievable. Of all the things that one could expect when you go live, that's not among them. Jeez. Naming your observatory can be a good idea for income. Lease the name to some astronomy company for a year and mention it during your live streams. Ooh, yeah. Coming to you live from the XXX sponsored observatory. Oh, that's brilliant, Stan. Absolutely fantastic. I see Pete's game plan. He's the brain trying to take over the world. Oh man. Nah, I tell you, I mean, Pete's been watching my channel since honestly not long after I started, and yeah, been a stalwart supporter the whole time through. You know what I mean? Unbelievable. There's just some wonderful people out there, and Pete's one of them. Let's see. Oh, crikey. Just one sec, guys. I need to move Chloe's mouse. It seems like her PC is about to go off. Her rig's not happy. It looks like it tried to trigger an autofocus in the middle of all this cloud. Nobody tell the government, they'll tax it. Luckily with YouTube, I only get taxed in the UK. Bit of interesting trivia, if you like. Once you get monetized on YouTube, if you're from the UK, because YouTube's an American company, you have to fill out a form called a W-8-BEN, which lets you avoid double dip taxation. So normally you'd get taxed on your earnings in America and then taxed again in your home country, but because we have a tax treaty, that's avoidable. Look who did his homework. W8BYA. Get us? Is it? I know you mentioned how to say your name properly, mate. Let's get this nailed down. Howdy, Luke. Just in from my son's birthday party. Well, happy birthday to your son, mate. I hope you had a cracking day. If Pete did take over the world would be a better place. It would. Yeah, I'm down for it. Pete for president. Let's go. Robert Mine. Your weather looks like mine last night. Yeah. It looked like it had gone away, Rob, for a while. And now it's back with a vengeance, it seems, mate. Hope the Rasa speed saved me and allowed me to capture enough for a couple of decent picks. The Markarian's Chain and the Triffid. Oh, well, I hope so, Robert. I really do, mate. See the resolution in the capture format area says 9.5 file by 6.4K. Sure that's not the resolution of your detector. No, that is the resolution of the camera. It's a full frame camera. It's pretty monstrous sized files, mate. So yeah, that's the size. Let's see. Oops. I'm finding it hard to focus. I'm still absolutely just bowled over by what Pete's just done there. Crikey. Let me see. Someone say snarf. Is that Pinky in the Brain or something that we're on about? Narf. Nailed the name pronunciation. Yes. I'm glad to hear it, mate. Get us. I think before I was saying get us. Stefan. Pete for president seems like a bad idea. The yearly budget would be spent at the end of January. Oh, man. Richard says, it's clear in Somerset, getting some great data, first time doing wide field. Brilliant. Well, I hope you're enjoying yourself, Richard. There's certainly something to be said for wide field captures, mate. They can be a heck of a lot of fun, can't they? I've just realised my observatory door has opened up, though, so I need to close that, otherwise we're going to have some serious heat leakage going on. Whew. Let's see. Good point. I changed my mind. Pete for president. Clouds rolling in for you now, says Toaster. Got nearly 2 hours on an M57 with a C-Star. Neat, mate. Scope is still impressing you. Well, I'm very glad to hear that. That's good news. I really like the little C-Star. I do. I hope one day they'll bring out one that's just, and I mean not too much bigger, but just a touch bigger perhaps. 70mm, something like that. I think that would be a real sweet spot for these smart scopes. And it wouldn't intrude too much, I would say, on the C-Star S50s turf either then. They could exist as two separate choices for different things. Do you know what I mean? At least that's my thought on it. Blown away by the Samyang lens, says Richard. Brilliant. Yeah, I had one of those Samyang 135s. Really enjoyed it. Don't know why I sold it. Kind of regret it. Surprised that there's no aberration with the Altair 4 nanometer dual band at f2. Yeah. Love something a bit wider. Fair, mate. Someone mentioned the other day there's a new Dwarf Lab smart telescope coming out. That looks more interesting than I'd initially thought, actually, because it looks so similar to the old one. I'd initially sort of almost writ it off as just a Dwarf 2.1 or something, but it does seem to be quite a lot improved. If the opportunity comes up to review one of those, I might give one a go. Luke Matico, how did you come up with your channel name, if you don't mind me asking? Not at all, mate. When I went to high school, so this was when I was like 11, 12 years old, I needed to have an email address. And my gamer tag at the time was Luco Matico. So I thought, you know what? Luco Matico. It's just stuck ever since. That was that, mate. So yeah, no special meaning behind it. Just Luco Matico. I really considered changing the name a few times now, but I think I'm in too deep. It's just got to stay Luco Matico now. The C-Star and an 8-inch Dob is all I own. This is only the beginning, says he, man. Brilliant, mate. Yeah, I get pangs sometimes for a decent sized Dob. I think it could be really interesting for some content outside. Especially on nights where it's, nice and still and warm summer evenings. It could be a heck of a lot of fun, but yeah. Wheeljack says, nah, keep your channel name, it's your brand now. I think it kind of is, isn't it, mate? Yeah. It really early on, I think, when I just thought, are people going to take a channel with a bit of a silly name seriously? And I guess it didn't matter. It's done all right. Let's see. Dwarf 3 seems to be more improvements on the software side than anything. It's wider than the C-Star, though. So what I saw the other night was they've switched to a 4-element apochromat for the optics. It's 35mm rather than 20, 25, 28, something like that on the Dwarf 2. I've actually got one right there, and I can't remember the bloody size of it, but they've also changed the sensors to some much newer Sony Starvis 2 stuff. Should be a big improvement as well. But we'll see. Like I say, the C-Star's so darn good, I think it'd be hard for it to beat that, you know what I mean? But Wombat says I did a friend's session for viewing. Using ED72 first on the wishing well, and then an SW150 reflector. Such a huge difference. Brilliant. Dob just collects dust these days. First scope for Don was a Meade 12LX 200. Whew. Now I have two more. A 126mm optics and an 82 Evo Lux. The LX crapped out, took the tube off, and got an EQ6 Pro now. Nice. Those old Meads, the Schmidt screen fork mounted ones. I always liked the look of them, but I did always hear the same sort of thing about the electronics on them eventually just giving way. The same thing on the Meade RCX as well. Beautiful scope, interesting idea. Bad execution on the electronics, unfortunately. Let's see. We all have that email address we never give to anyone. Says Wheeljack. Yeah, mate. Mine's just been in use that long now. It's I'm just used to it. Typo by one of your high school friends when we were chatting online back in the day. Crikey. First used Erewhon for an email address in college. Just kind of stuck with it. Yeah. What's that about silly channel names? I didn't mean anything by it, mate. No. Nah, it just, you know, because it's not Astro related or anything, is it? My handle, but yeah. Stefan says, a channel name mostly needs to be rememberable and recognizable. Yours definitely is that. Don't think it matters how silly it sounds. Yeah, good point, mate, I think. Had to, and the electronics are crap. Oh, no. Had one of the Rover Valley Optics Horizon 72 EDs. A lot of bang for the buck. Got some great images since I started last Feb. Brilliant, Richard. Yeah, I saw some of those at the last Astro show that I attended. I had a little look at them in person, and they are interesting looking little scopes. First scope was a Meade ETC70. Don't think I once managed to polar align it. Or ETX, rather, yeah. Let's see, I see you got my tarantula pic in Instagram. Yes, mate, absolutely out of my range, that one. But, yeah, thank you very much indeed for sending that over, Wombat. A Meade 14-inch LX850 Schmidt screen. Basically use it for visual on the moon and the planets. I can imagine that's a lot of fun, mate, yeah. I think a 14-inch Schmidt screen would be about the absolute limit of what I could feasibly fit in the observatory. I think it might be just about doable, but I don't know. It's just so much other stuff I need to pay for first. Do you know what I mean? I've pimped Nicky's 150 PDS with new spider vanes. Brilliant, mate. And although the mirror mask doesn't cover the clips, I've got hiccups now. Crikey. So I won't be fitting that, but it does have a cover for the primary to stop the light leakage. Now, Titch, on the note of that mirror mask, the clips themselves, I think you take off the steel topper if you have that, and then you're meant to cut down the rubber. I'm not sure if yours came with the same instructions as the ones that I got from Backyard Universe, but just putting that out there, mate, in case they didn't come with good instructions. You may instantly need to forget what I write here at ZWO chat group. I got a reply for my question. should be excited about the new C-Star with better, wider sensor. Ooh. Yes, mate. I mean, the C-Star's been such a success, hasn't it, that we would hope that they bring out new ones. Do you know what I mean? The current C-Star is fantastic still. So, there's no need to really replace that as part of a product lineup, but having a bigger option, or maybe even a smaller option too, would be really cool, I think. Ever considered making some exoplanet light curves? Not pretty pictures, but still pretty neat that you can see them. Yes. Trying to capture transits and things like that by observing the dip in light, like you say. That could be very, very interesting. I know a few people in the UK as well do standard slit spectroscopy as well, and that also has an appeal. I think it's just, I'm not really sure exactly how I'd pivot that to be an engaging video, do you know what I mean? As it is, it seems like my YouTube channel's been having more traction while I've been doing comparison videos and things like that, and tutorials especially. People seem to like those, even though I'd never have placed myself in a teacher's shoes by any means, but it seems like people like them. So that's why I've kind of lent into that sort of stuff more just recently, but I'm certainly open to more ideas. Friend has a, just lost that there. LX200 and recently got a C11, which is pretty awesome. Nice one, yeah. Great shot, Luke, says Spaceman. Thank you, mate. That's kind of you. Got a William Optics Zenith Star 73 and an old William Optics Fluorite 98. As well as my uncollimated TAC Epsilon. They're all brilliant for Nebula and big galaxies. Have you, I don't know if you tried yet with a, why is the word eluding me now? I think Pete's still mushed my brain a little bit. OCal. We got there. The OCal, mate, if you've got one of those. I can't remember when we spoke at the convention if you mentioned that you'd tried an OCal or not. Manuel just confirming that he had to cut the rubbers when he installed his generic mirror mask. Missing something with a longer focal length for Galaxy Season. It's a tough one, isn't it, mate? There's, I feel like while you can get by with one or two scopes, really you need a few, don't you? You need a whole barn full of them. Having fun pushing your next Star 4 SE to the limit. Your next one, though, might have to get a Lunt. Very nice. Sun is pretty fascinating to me lately. Cool. Yeah, transit imaging could be an interesting one, couldn't it? What filter are you using, and can you zoom into the star with the halo on the left, asks Isaac. Absolutely, Isaac. It's an Optilong L Extreme F2 edition, which is normally not too bad with filters, but it does have them very slightly, as well as, if I can find some, like here, don't know if you can spot that, tiny little ghost artifact around some stars, particularly those, it seems, further towards the red end of the spectrum. So it's not perfect, not by any means, but I do like the filter, so I do end up using it quite a bit. Now let's see if we can get across this left-hand side of the image with a mighty pan. Here we are, mate. So you can see the vignette, the dispersion around that star appears to be cut off, and that's because of how far off axis that it is, mate. And also, interestingly, you can see my wonky cables going in to the end of the raster there. I thought I'd best keep them bent around a little bit without straight lines. I used to put them straight, and it gives me deliberate diffraction spikes. But when you bend them, curved surfaces, don't do that straight line diffraction. Just having a look around this image actually now, it does look quite good. I'm pretty impressed with it. For just one, 68 minutes of data now that we've actually managed to successfully stack. And the night will be over shortly, unfortunately, guys, as dawn's going to start breaking. But I think you'll agree, it don't look bad at all, does it? There's her big harrow object on the end of the stalk of that pelican there as well. Always cool to see. The Einstein cross with the Edge HD 11. Lubo suggests. Is that the one that's in Andromeda? Or is that the parachute that I'm thinking of? I think I'm probably thinking of the parachute, actually. Never mind me. But that is a bloody hard to resolve target as far as I'm aware. Didn't come with any instructions, so I'm a bit baffled with it. Confirms Titch. I'll check out Backyard Universe though, as the kit I got was from AliExpress. Yeah, I imagine the instructions are perfectly transferable. It's the same sort of part in it. Let's be fair. You have twin 10-inch LX200s, most of a public visual. One has a Skywatcher 80 ED mounted on top of it for photography when no one is around. Tripped up over my own tongue. Garnet, good to see you, Garnet. How's it going, mate? I'm glad to hear you enjoy the comparison videos, buddy. As I say, they seem to do well on the channel, and I just personally have a lot of fun doing that kind of thing. I always love setting up an experiment and figuring out a way that I can do it where I'm satisfied that it's got some degree of integrity, and then go ahead and make it. You know what I mean? Invariably, they sometimes ruffle some feathers. It is what it is. I do try to be completely honest with whatever I show on channel. C-Star S80 in progress, says Sky Raiders UK. We can hope so, mate. Yeah, that would be cool. That's a nice step up, innit? 30 more mil. I feel like the S50 and an S80 could certainly exist together and be enjoyed. Working well for tracking satellites, says SMA Sky. Interesting, mate. I'd love to try that kind of thing, like I say, with the space station, with the Edge HD or something like that. That could be really cool. Is that a bit of clear sky coming over? It appears the cloud is just passing by now, rather than like earlier on, we were just getting nailed with it completely. But it's not too bad now, eh? Richard has just pinged me an example image. Thank you very much for that, mate. I'll get to that as soon as I can. Robert Martin asking, sorry Luke, what's the scope tonight? No problem at all, buddy. It is the Celestron Edge, no, not the Edge HD. It's not. It's the Rasa 11. So 620mm f2.2, paired up with a full frame camera and an Optolong L-Extreme f2 filter. We're using 2-minute subs, by the way, for this. Another project that can be done with amateur grade scopes is age determination of stellar clusters using isochrone models. Analysis is a bit hairy, but would be cool if someone tried. Never even heard of it, mate, if I'm being honest with you. Isochrone models. Thank you for that, Samuel. Completely understand that it may not be super engaging content. This is the eternal battle, I suppose, for me. Ever since trying to like make YouTube, well, I say trying, it is my job. I've got to kind of balance the fact that I'm already appealing to such a tiny slice of people with this kind of content, you know what I mean? And then it'd be like a subsection of a subgroup. I think if I went into something like spectroscopy or whatever, I might end up causing myself issues with the amount of time investment it takes to make a video based on the expected return that I'd be looking to get out of that kind of thing. You know what I mean? I have to, as sad as it sounds, I have to in some way view it as a business, because it kind of is. Oh crikey, just saw something on my other screen there that's up to date. Garnet Leary with the $5 donation. Mate, thank you very much indeed for that. A tasty beverage for you, friend. Keep up the positive influence on the Astro community. Garnet, you're a real one, mate. Thank you very much indeed for that. That is extremely kind of you. And I will enjoy a beer later tonight, actually. I think once we've got some flats captured for all this. Yes, since you've said so, I shall. Thank you again, mate. That's very, very kind of you. By the way, for anybody who doesn't know, Garnet has his own YouTube channel as well. I should mention that. got wonderful content on there, and he really is a top chap, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I do. Let me see. AM5. The new ASI firmware has a heavy-duty mode. I'm just seeing Space Stuff's reply to Toaster there. I didn't know about that, mate. I'll have to get that firmware uploaded. I'm considering trying, you know, the Edge HD 11 on my AM5. Yeah. Let's see. Not tried the Ocal yet, but I want to learn how to collimate properly before spending any more cash. I hear you with that, mate. Yeah, that's absolutely understandable. Sorry it's taken me so long to catch up with your comment there, buddy. An S8 could do with a bigger sensor. Yes, indeed, Richard. So, I mean, in a dream world, if they put something like a 4/3 size sensor in there, that'd be absolutely awesome. But even, you know, like a 585, that kind of sensor, that'd be more than enough. I think it'd be fantastic. Get us says, so Luke, a bunch of us local images have been going back and forth where the pelican snout is and which way he's looking. Can you point out where you think his eye and the tip of his snout is, please? Get us. We went through this actually a little while back on a previous stream. Someone pointed out to me, and I'm hoping I can find it for you cleanly again. Where are we looking? So here's Deadpool, by the way, in case you're familiar with the comics, etc. There's Deadpool's face. I'm just trying to locate the pelican for you now. How did I have this flipped around? This is a flipped image, of course, on the raster. So hang on. Let me just try and pick up a demonstration image. So this one shows it probably pretty well. Let's try and pull this onto the screen a sec so you can see. As far as I see it, there's the pelican's eye, and there's his bill. It goes down the top part of the bill, the bottom part of the bill, going to that curved neck, and there, let's say, there's the pelican. One of those, I mean, I can see it, but it's a little bit open to interpretation, eh? Whereas that's definitely Deadpool. So there you have it. I'll just try and catch up a little bit with chat. Sorry, guys. Still prefer the out of focus star method, says Space Stuff. Yeah, that's honestly, mate, that's my favourite too, if possible. Get your secondary lined up nicely with a laser. So, you know, adjust your secondary till it's bouncing, the laser beam. Smack onto the primary mirror center ring. You can use your laser as well to roughly collimate the primary at that point and get the beam so it's coincident upon itself and entering right back where it was, where it left. Then finish on an out of focus star, you know what I mean? Casey asks, that's Lone Monk rather, which one-shot colour filters do you like the most? My favourites are the Radiant Triad Ultra and Antler Duos, especially in high bottle areas. Good question, Casey. It's a tough one. For me, I don't like any filter for broadband work. So I don't. From my own testing, I'd much prefer just shooting with a UV IR cut filter for most stuff. However, with the RASA in particular, for high speed shooting, I like the Optilong L-Extreme F2. For work outside of that though, dual narrowband filter shooting, you know, one shot color once again, I like the Player One Anti-Halo Pro, which is an expensive filter, but I tested it like literally trying to find a fault with it, and I just couldn't, other than it's expensive. Do you know what I mean? So I really like that filter. That'd be my own advice. Well, this was the Edge HD11, hence my confusion earlier about your field of view. Ah, get you now, Richard. Yeah, sorry, mate. I switched scopes over. During the end of a previous live stream, I asked people what they'd want to see on the next one, and they suggested some work with the RASA would be cool, so we switched over to this, mate. Take a look now at the wall once again. Sorry, by the way, guys, about this stream being a little bit more boring than usual. Normally, I'd much rather engage with you by doing some EAA, but as I say, as I need to get future videos planned well in advance, this is part of it, you know, making these kinds of captures ready for tutorial videos and that kind of thing. Got to really take the opportunities whenever I can with the weather how it is here in the UK. Could you do a video of all the filters on the same targets to show the difference? Oof. I mean, potentially, yes. But it could never be truly a perfect comparison, I guess, because these filters have different thicknesses, which is going to mean a lot of refocusing in between, which is going to be a lot of consumed time in between shots. And as you'll know, even with 10 minutes going by, it would render a comparison a little bit less valid, as the atmospheric conditions are likely to change a bit during that time. Probably not much, but for the sake of trying to be as fair as possible, it would change. But maybe if I just said that and explained it to people that that's just the best I can do, maybe people would still like to see it. I don't know. Just caught up now with Garnet's very kind donation. Thank you again, by the way, Garnet. I am a mile behind on chat, by the way, guys. I'm sorry about that. I just don't really want to leave anybody unread. Do you know what I mean? Let's see. So it brings me back to your channel time and again, Luke. The positivity and the chilled northern vibes. That's it, mate. Glad to hear it, mate. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. I just don't think I'd get very far if I tried being anything else. You know, I've always been pretty relaxed. And very much northern. Can't get out of that. So glad you enjoy it, Rich. That's brilliant. Doing my absolute best to catch up. Sorry about this. Pete says, I know what you mean about YouTube. My channel is tiny, but I have thought about leaning into my engineering background and making technical videos, but realize it's a niche within a niche. It is, mate. Yeah. That's always the trouble in it, I suppose. If the original niche that you choose to engage in on YouTube is big enough, then I don't see any harm really in niching down a little bit further. So if we were just talking really broad spectrum about, what's a good example? If I had a photography channel, let's say just pure photography, terrestrial stuff, and then I wanted to niche down a little bit further and focus, if you'll excuse the pun, purely on macro photography, that would probably be fine. I imagine the subset of people into macro photography and the amount of carryover, you know, like the blur in between on the Venn diagram, if you will, is a big enough intersection that you could make a go of it. But I imagine with astrophotography already being relatively niche in itself, moving then into you know, a very fringe part of it, which to some people is absolutely very interesting, and I can totally see why. Just might have that too limited appeal that, you know, means like the death of a channel, effectively. That's my thoughts on it. Anyway, it certainly seems like things do better when they have a wider appeal. Of course, goes without saying, I suppose, that, doesn't it? Let me see. I see the pelican. Nice. Yeah. Could you stretch the live stack a little more? Asks Isaac. Indeed, mate, if you like. Give it a touch more stretch. We can take a look at it full view there for you. So I should probably up the black point just a touch there. Bit of a balancing act here because these flats aren't good enough. So we're starting to clip the blacks in the middle while the edges are still a bit bright for my tastes. But, you know, there it is roughly. As I say, I'll take some proper flats for this. Can't remember the name of the nebula, but there's one that looks like a xenomorph from the Alien movies. I think Pete were on about that. It's the Western Veil? Western Veil, I think we're on about. It's got the long head. You're all making me want to rewatch Alien films now. Love those. Let's see. Oh wow, own an instrumentation and control systems company in the oil and gas industry. Fantastic. I'm sure you'd mentioned that actually, Pete, in the past. Probably back around about the time I'd having crazy ideas about maybe becoming a camera dealer. I'm glad I didn't do that, to be honest. I think it had melted my my puny brain. I have to say I'm happy doing what I'm doing. I do like, this, and I feel extremely lucky that I can do this. You know what I mean? It's super chilled. Suits me down to ground. Let's see. Got to head to bed now, says Spaceman. Love to you and Chloe. Hey, thank you very much, buddy. Love right back at you, mate. Hope you have a good one. Get us says, awesome and sorry that it was covered earlier. The guys owe me a cold beer. Oh, mate. Thank you very much indeed, Get us. That's absolutely awesome of you. Oh yeah, Pete's just confirming about the veil there, looking like a xenomorph. You're welcome, Samuel Grund. Hope Luco doesn't mind. Luco doesn't mind anything, mate. Don't worry at all. Best thing about the Sea Star, I finished imaging and was all packed up in 5 minutes flat. Yes. Strong agree, mate. Sometimes I'll get like the urge to do a little bit of solar, especially when the light's pouring into my mum and dad's front room, and I can just see the sun skirting above the nearby house roofs, and I think, a little bit of solar, and then 2 minutes later, I've got images on the screen. It's pretty mint. Let's see. It's not boring. Glad to hear that, mate. Yeah, really, really glad to hear that. I think one of the good things about having a bit more of a quiet stream subject, rather than when we're doing EAA, is that I can try to keep up a little bit more with chat. Do you know what I mean? Alien films for the win. Absolutely, mate. Aliens is still one of the best sci-fi action films. On that note, then, Pete, how do you feel about Prometheus? I quite liked it. I have to say, I quite liked it. It didn't have the same magic as the very early Alien films, and that just the whole vibe of them was different, I think, but I still really enjoyed it. Let's see. On the note of old horror films, quite fancy watching The Thing again as well. If anybody's a fan of that one. Really interesting film, I thought. I wanted to open my own telescope shop, and then I thought about where my profits would be going. Straight back into your own till, mate, yeah. Let's see. If you're using Nina by any chance, can you look at the histogram and explain it just a bit? I'm a bit unclear on how to verify it not clipping stars, says Robert Martin. Sure, Robert, yeah. So if you look at the histogram on Nina for a moment. So if you right click when the program responds, let's just wait for it to actually decide what it's doing. Oh, there we go. So when you right click, you get a readout underneath your mouse pointer, wherever you pick, your actual tip of your pointer's pointing. You get mean values there as well as well as maximums. So that mean value is, of course, the mean of wherever you pointed, and also if we choose somewhere that should be completely blown out, like the core of this star, if it would respond. Ever so sorry about Nina running so slow tonight. You can see max values there are 65, 65, 535, so the limit of what a 16-bit integer can display. So blown out in some cases, but the mean values still don't look too bad in that region. So maybe somewhat rescuable. But in terms of the histogram itself right there, we can see that there's 3041 pixels that are completely clipped at that max value. We can see the mean and the median values right there are low down at 2000 or so. So nowhere near clipped. And if we actually just look at the actual distribution in graph form itself, you see the spike itself is very close to the left, indicating we're right up against the left-hand side. So our black point isn't being clipped. As you can see, it's not actually being truncated. So our offset is set just about accurately, and it's nowhere near over to the right. So if this peak was more broadened out as it would be and right over here, then I'd be getting a little bit worried that I'm gathering too much brightness in the shot. And especially if anything was getting took off of the left or the right, clipped, traditionally speaking, then yeah, I'd want to be avoiding that too. But you can see there's also a minimum value I've just noted. I've never really paid attention to that before, but I'm trying to talk you through it live. 1 pixel is down at 747, so we're absolutely nowhere near the point where a 0 value would be recorded, a true black clip. So yeah, offset's absolutely fine. Looks like we're having some wind gusts, so guys, look at that. Hope that was some help, Robert. I appreciate that wasn't the cleanest explanation I've ever offered about anything, mate. Oops. What's going on here? Let's let it auto-select a star and see why it's playing up. Correction, mate. I mentioned I was teaching my 6-year-old astrophotography. She is my granddaughter. Ah. Right, got you. Hey, that's... what counts is you're out there passing it on, making memories, mate, you know. Good on you, is all I can say. Oh, crikey. Casey. What's just popped up here, mate? Oh, mate, thank you so much for that. $50. Just because. You're too kind, mate. Thank you so much indeed for that, Casey. Sorry, I didn't notice that for a moment there, mate. I was that engrossed in trying to talk through a description of the histogram in that case. Thank you very much indeed for that, mate. Well, thank you everybody tonight for your support. It's been absolutely unbelievable. We will have to wrap up shortly, unfortunately. But yeah, geez, guys, the support that you've given me, not just in the live streams, but just generally speaking, you know, from day one, has been phenomenal and far more than anybody could ever come to expect. You know what I mean? So thank you. I always make a point of saying it, like I say, in my videos and stuff. But that's because I do genuinely feel gratitude towards you. I see a couple of people left just there, by the way. I just want to say good night to you guys as well. Chasing the OG thing with Kurt Russell. The OG thing with Kurt Russell. That's right, mate. The thing, yeah. Just trying to catch up with chat, sorry. Still imaging M101. Very nice, Corinne. I hope you've had a really good session there, buddy. I don't speak of Prometheus like I don't speak of Godzilla 98. Oh, crikey. We'll say no more then, eh, mate? The new Alien Romulus teaser dropped. I didn't know about that, mate. I'll have to watch that. Pete says, initially I hated Prometheus as I wanted blood, guts and xenomorphs. But after watching it again, I actually really like it. Yeah. I also like the direction they took. The Covenant in David creating the xenomorph. I forget how good these films are until you start talking about plot points again, and I'm like, oh, yes. How about Blade Runner? We've got to have some Blade Runner fans in here as well. The original, incredible, in my estimations. I really, really liked it. 2077 grew on me. I watched it the first time through and I needed a few days, I think, to actually digest it. And then I'm like, And then watched it again recently and really just thoroughly enjoyed it, actually. Yeah. Oh, crikey. What's happened to Pete's cam? It appears it's gone missing. Oh dear. We're down one. We've lost the camera. High hopes for Romulus. It looks like they're going back to the basics. What's the secret of flats at F2? Oof. Okay, Richard, you're on about the Samyang lens. That was hard to get good flats, in my experience, mate. The key was increase the distance between the flat panel and your lens, as when it's too close, you get illumination at unnatural angles. So all the light that's coming into your telescope is, of course, parallel, or your lens, in your case, because we're viewing an infinitely distant target, right? So the light, by its very nature, at that point, is parallelized with your optics. When you use a flat panel too close to the end of the telescope, this goes for nearly all telescopes, except for those with ridiculously good baffling, ray-traced baffling. You're instead introducing light at all sorts of angles, and it bounces around in there, illuminates things that shouldn't be lit normally, and then you get inaccurate flats, where it's recording a brightening where there shouldn't be one. So watch out for that. Increase the distance between your flat panel and your scope if all you can, mate. That would be my advice to get good flats. Ooh, I like watching Luca Matico live streams because they end right around the time it gets dark here. Brilliant, mate. Well, come winter, crikey, if we do some live streams during winter, they're going to be mammoth sessions because it gets dark here about 4 o'clock in the afternoon and then stays dark till about 9 in the morning. I would be putting a shift in then, wouldn't I? Let's see. Nice people have nice things happen to them. Life. Too kind, buddy. Far too kind. Let's see. August for the Alien film. I can't wait for that then. Nice to meet you. I'm watching your broadcast in Korea. Well, nice to meet you too, mate. It's very kind of you to come and join and spend some time with us in the chat. You're very welcome. Prometheus was downright scary and nail-biting. Yeah, I really liked Prometheus. I thought it was a good one. Blade Runner, hell yeah. Fantastic films, yes. Brilliant. 80s was the golden era for films in general. Absolutely, yeah. The Rocky films, I know a lot of people might meme on them a bit, but man, I loved them. Absolutely loved them. Just good stories, do you know what I mean? 2077 needed a second watch. Great film, says Richard. Yeah. Kind of in the same boat there, mate, I think. Original Blade Runner, didn't care for the second Blade Runner. Fair. I don't think YouTube will make the live a VOD if it's over 12 hours. Good point there, mate, yeah. Probably may have to cut them down ever so slightly, eh? Thank you, Luke. Photo editing software shows the histogram differently and can highlight clipped data. Neat. I saw you do this in a video last night. Yeah. Fair enough, mate. I suppose they're all going to look a little bit different depending on how they actually show the histogram as a graph. But generally speaking, if you can understand one histogram, you can understand them all, just about. Let me just catch up again, ever so sorry. Still use my flat panel with my dew shield fully extended and with 2 t-shirts under the flat panel. Yeah, fair mate. Sounds like sky flats might be a good idea. Absolutely mate, yeah, if you can do sky flats with your rig, do them. Yeah, you're not going to get a light source, you know, more further than that, are you? So that's spot on. Live stream's perfect for me to watch, just getting dark here now. Brilliant. Yes, another one on sky flats, another +1 for that. Dang, you're still going, says D-Fresh. Session is about to start, well, in like 5 minutes. Well, I hope you have a really good session, D-Fresh, mate. And thanks again for checking in the stream. KC is about to start imaging. Sun just went down, and it's clear for the next 5 hours. Oh, I'm so jealous, Casey. Well, good luck to you, mate. I hope you have a good session, and thank you again, by the way, for that very, very kind donation. And Pete, as well, whose donation has still left me in a state of shock. Not sure how I'm going to sleep tonight, actually, after this stream. It's been unbelievable, guys. It really has. No sleep in winter when the baby arrives, mate. You could be right. But Chloe says to me over there, she thinks it's going to work out just fine because she's used to getting up and I'm used to staying up. So we should be all right between us. Luckily, I mean, I still live... I mean, is it odd to say luckily? But I don't know, in my situation, it feels lucky. I still live with my parents at home and I've got my granddad literally next door. He lives quite literally next door. So there's a good family kind of network there of people. So if we ever end up a bit overwhelmed, I'm sure we'll be fine. We all get on really well, you know what I mean? So it never put massive pressure on me to move out too quick and things. Would that I even could have done. At the time I had so many other things going on that it wasn't a realistic proposition anyway, but do let me know if this is all just too much information. Firefly was a great series too. You know, I never got a chance to watch that, mate. I have heard good things though. Only 2 Alien movies, 1 and 2. Second one was the best. Let's see. Oop. Luke, your wife just joined you for a year via PP. Thank you for all you do. Join me up for a year. Oh, mate, that's awesome. Thank you very much indeed. Are you meaning Patreon there? Pete's house coming soon. We've got to take him up to see his godfather, haven't we? Pete's now officially godfather. So, PayPal. Oh, awesome, mate. Well, thank you very much indeed for that, Geddes. I really do appreciate all the support from you guys. As I say, it means an awful lot. It really does. Favorite movies, OG 54 Godzilla. I've never seen that one, mate. Favorite old movie, now you've got me thinking. Jason and the Argonauts. Actually, really like that one. Still watch it now if ever I see it on TV. My pleasure. Oh, thank you again, Geddes. Yeah, that's really kind of you and your wife. Thank you. Firefly was the shit. Yeah, you love Jason and the Argonauts. Brilliant. Yeah, such a good film. I don't even mind the stop motion animation and things like that. It just works for the film. Cowboys versus Aliens. Oh, no, I have seen that. I just can't bring it to mind properly. Fantastic at stop animation, yeah. Rewatched Firefly and Serenity. Nugsy in it. Can I watch them on any of the streaming services? We have Amazon and Netflix, mate. So, and I think Disney as well. Sorry, I butchered his name with my crap spelling. The OG Godzilla films were batshit crazy. Come on, Luke. Clash of the Titans and Sinbad. Do you know I haven't seen them, Casey? I'll have to add them to the watch list. I really don't mind watching some older films. Me, I find once you get over the initial, I don't know what's the word, cronkiness of like how they can look, the story's still just fine, don't they? So it can be a lot of fun. Watch Firefly no matter what. Well, sounds like I've got to add that one to the list then. Yeah, I think, guys, 228, I'm certain, in fact, that we're now into Astronomical Dawn. Clash of the Titans is excellent. Mechanical Owl. I don't know why hearing about a Mechanical Owl has just made me think of League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Extraordinary Gentlemen. Butchered that, didn't I? Yeah, crikey, look at the brightening in these subs. I don't know if you can see the mean values rising. That, by the way, also, Rob, if you're still watching, checking out your mean values in Nina can be a good indicator of if something's gone wrong, like passing clouds. You'd expect to see it really brighten, as well as the thumbnail's a good indicator, so you can see we started off at like 1865 earlier in the night. Clouds were passing, we were up at 5,000, so you can instantaneously know they were bad subs. Yeah. So anyway, I think we're well and truly into dawn, and we are. So I'll stop this plan. Got a last little look at this thing if you like, guys, as well. I think that's turned out alright for 94 minutes. When I restack this and take some proper flats and stuff, I expect this will be a decent data set that we can do a tutorial from and share it with anybody interested in processing, of course. That should be pretty good. Morning from Melbourne. Well, noon. Well, noon to you as well then, Nick. It's always nice to have you on a stream, buddy. Thank you for joining in. Paul. The film Paul, says Robert. Yes. Enjoyed that, of course. 100%. Trying to think of the name as well of another... There was another good one I watched just recently about this alien spaceship that ominously just floated above America for a while, and then they sent this language expert up to figure out how they were trying to communicate. They look like squids. Does anybody know the name? Because it's really going to bug me. But I enjoyed it. Bit of a random one, but yeah, I really enjoyed it. Well done for a great live stream, Luke. Thank you very much indeed, mate. As always, appreciate your support. Arrival! That's it! Thank you. Oh, crikey, I'm glad you came up with that one, guys. That would have bugged me. Still love the original Dune. You know, I've not seen the original Dune, but I absolutely love the current two Dunes. Holy hell, yeah. Bought that one immediately when it came out on Blu-ray, you know what I mean? And the new one. That was one of the films, actually, I watched just recently. I know we're going off on a totally unrelated to Astro tangent, but whatever. One of the films that really sold to me the feeling of 4DX cinemas. So if you've got a Cineworld nearby that offers 4DX seating, some films it is absolutely worth it, and Dune 2 was one of them. It were a right laugh in those seats. Samuel Grund asking, do you have a streaming schedule? I'm sorry, Samuel, I don't, mate. I would love to have one, and if I think at all I get the chance that we are going to have some guaranteed clear skies, I will try and put some warning out for people ahead of time. It's just I really hate to let people down. So if I put out, let's say, oh, expect a live stream tonight, and then it clouds over, I'd feel terrible. So I tried to just avoid that and instead just go live when it looks like it's going to be good. You know what I mean? That's looking forward looking to the processing video. Thank you very much indeed, mate. Yeah. Brilliant. Great stream. Glad I popped in for an hour. 9 all on clear skies. Yeah, thank you very much indeed, guys. It's been an absolutely fantastic one. Congratulations again to you and Chloe. Thank you, mate. Sleep while you can. I'll try and bank some sleep, yeah. Brilliant. Right then, guys, it's astronomy. We get let down all the time. I know. I don't want to add to that, though. You know what I mean? Yeah. Fantastic. Well, guys, as always, you've been an absolute pleasure. Thank you again for the support. And, geez, oh, you know what I mean? What can I say about that? You've blown my socks off tonight. It's been unbelievable, guys. Huge thanks. Just a very genuine huge thanks. I hope you know you are appreciated. So thank you. Hope you have a lovely one, and I will see you whenever I possibly can for another live stream, because they're a ton more fun than just sitting here solitary and recording videos, twiddling my thumbs. So yeah, look forward to more of these if you enjoy them. Have a good one, guys. Lots of love, and yeah, see you in the next one.